Hi, everybody. We're continuing our cash game study session. In this case, where I don't hit the end button and kick everyone out. That's the new way of studying. All right. So, Larry, were we going to see that at the 40 or the 50 it started, or were we done?
No,
We're done.
it
Okay.
wouldn't let us.
All right, let's go back to sharing here. All right, I am going to do one more hand, and then I'm going to pass this on to anybody else who wants to predict and or narrate. So think about whether you want to do it and to volunteer, and I'll do this last one while you think. All right. So we lost that, and we would like to, oh, and then he leaves. Oh, we would like to make more money from players who we've tagged as bad, but instead, he takes our money, villain 95, and on the next hand, he leaves.
Oh, we lost our mark.
We lost one of them. And so right now, the mark at the table is me.
Well, that's what short stacks do. They come in, double up, and then
Leave.
yeah,
Yep.
it's like a hit and run stack strategy.
We'll see if he comes back. We see if we get a short stack back. It might be the same guy. All right. 5-7 should fold to the Jack-6 suited, and the Jack-6 suited should raise, and the Ace-8 suited should defend, and the Ace-8 suited should defend by calling, not 3-betting. That's what I think. That's what I say should happen. And there's the raise, and there's the call. Look at them. Whenever they do what I say they should do, that tells us we're at a bad table. We want them doing things that I say they shouldn't do. Sure. This seems like a fine hand to see bet. You could also go for a check raise, either one. And if it went check, check, and you didn't get your raise in there, that's fine. Then you get a free card. Either way is good. He goes for small, and the Ace-8 suited should just fold. Just ace high with nothing else. He should just fold. And he does. All right. Who is up? Who would like to say what people should do and see what they do? Somebody
I'm
volunteer.
just curious. What's your weakest ace high that you call here? And is this fold more impacted because of the suits at play?
Ace high, you should have something, you should have some interaction with the board. So an ace-10 is not only a good hand, but it at least has a backdoor straight. An ace-4 has a legitimate straight. So you can do your ace-4 and your ace-6. Ace-7, I mean, it's got a backdoor straight.
Because the way I think about this here, like, I mean, I'm trying to consider MDF. I'm trying not to overfold flop, and it's just like, I mean, on this specific board here, I'll have some folds for sure, but I mean, any ace high is going to be ahead of a lot of his range, and I would argue that you can peel at least one with a lot of these ace highs. But I don't know if that's more a tournament thing or if that's just like the spewiest thing at a cash table in the world.
It is so.
No.
So the theory is
against the solver. You're right against the solver. Against the population, cutting off the bottom of MDF is not a horrible thing to do because they don't find enough. Like, this should be a range bet board to me from the small blind.
Okay, yeah.
I would raise, well, in solver it's probably not a range bet, but I would raise and then range bet a board like this.
Yeah, in solver, this will never be a range bet. You almost never have a range bet out of position.
Right.
Okay.
But a lot of players in the small blind will only bet when they have some sort of equity.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And then the other thing, as long as we're talking villain specific, the thing that you really want is you want a villain who's shown themselves to be like what I did, which was a one and done, someone who doesn't continue the turn.
Sure.
Because if it's somebody who plays better than I did in the last hand, you may have ace high now and you may have the best hand, but you're never going to see the river with it.
Do you have a HUD in game on Ignition?
Nope.
Of some sort? Zero?
Nope. Zero.
Not even VPEP? Okay.
Nope. Nothing.
You could get one, but it costs extra money.
It costs extra money and it doesn't run on the Mac. And
is it like a third party plugin sort of a thing, like what you would have to do on Bet Online?
It is.
Yeah, it's probably the same one because I think Bet Online and Ignition are the same software, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure of that. All right. Here we go. Okay.
I'm in Ontario, so I have those weird Ontario only sites.
All right, who's up? Who's gonna talk?
Wait, do you have to go or?
No, I'm just
Okay,
giving
well, I could
opportunity.
talk. I won't do it the
Alright,
same way as you do, but
Oh, okay, let's go. Okay, Joey's up next. Here we go. I'll click buttons for you.
alright, ace three should raise, king four. I think, let me try, I'm trying to, I
It's a
don't
solver
know the
fold.
I don't know the blind versus blind charts by
It's a
heart.
solver, it's a solver fold. Kings,
Yeah,
king,
it's a solver fold. It's like king
king
seven.
six suited is a 50%, is a 50% raise, 50% fold.
Yeah, and like the middle king X hands are three bets.
Yeah, you can three bet them. Yep. But king four is just a fold.
So sorry to
Alright,
interrupt here. A lot of these blind versus blind spots now, again, I don't know if it's like more of an exploit that my coach taught me. My pre-flop blind versus blind bluffs come from a lot of these high card, low card combos, like king deuce off, king three off, queen four off, etc. I do a lot more checking with the middling of my range.
Yep,
Wait,
you're gonna find
was
you're
that
gonna
in,
find the very top of your range, and then you're gonna find the bottom of your trash is going to three bet.
Yeah, it's just I've seen two blind versus blind spots here where we had high card, low card combos, and I heard that it should be like 0%.
that's why I said
raise.
king four was close to a three bet?
Yeah. Yep.
In my mind.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
this looks right to me. Like it's the high card, low card combos, and then the
Yes.
middling
Okay,
are just
Right, but
King
look at
also-
what's missing.
we're
Okay.
we're actually tighter than, did he teach you that about a MTT or cash?
Yeah, no, it's MTT. It's all
Yeah.
MTT knowledge that I'm
'Cause
attempting
in
to
M-
transfer here.
MTT, the high low is more, it happens more often. Like it would be
Okay.
king two, king three, king four, and then like king six to king nine would be more calling. And
But-
then the stronger kings would be three betting again.
But
I
he-
just find it shocking that you're not even defending king two, king three, king four in a blind versus blind.
We'll talk about
I know,
that in a
well,
second, why.
Look
But
at these
Joey-
suited hands. We fold suited hands in.
Yeah, look at this. None of
That
this-
seems
not-
more reasonable to me.
Well, that's not done in MTT.
correct.
We have to be more disciplined and cash, the break and all that. But a question for you guys, Jack 3, that 10-3, who's doing that? Should we be doing
I
that in
am.
the game?
I am all over this. This is
10-5.
money. Yeah, you need to do
Yeah.
this. You cannot, you can't lose this lobe. This lobe is easy. The ace four, ace five is easy, but you gotta get this lobe here. And when it's versus the button, you gotta get this lobe here. And
Yeah,
versus.
if you're playing
cutoff,
online here, Skate,
You gotta get,
good
This-
tool you use is a randomizer. Cause it'll just say, okay, well, I know this region is like 40%, so I'm gonna randomize and roll, and if it's over 60, I'm going to three bet here.
Yeah, there's really good RNGs.
yeah, look at all this.
Yeah, I'll
Same
tell you
thing
what. I'll tell you what I do with these kind of low end three bets is I don't randomize because I just don't remember all of the right frequencies. What I'll do is I'll take that low end, like the suited tens and the suited jacks, and put them all into all my jack fives and 10 sixes and 10 fours type of thing.
Great.
Yeah.
Make it 100%. Same with the low kings. I'll just make king five and king six 100% and just ignore like the others.
Yeah, that's a good solution.
I like that. I guess that would be a good strategy in live cash.
That's what I was going to do. I was gonna simplify these radically, and then I decided that I was not enjoying that. So instead I simplified it like this. That's my simplification of that strategy.
Okay.
Because I'm a
Easy
crazy.
to remember.
Yeah. Making it.
Is this
pure-
software sort of like Equilab? I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, this is Equilab. I mean, it's Poker Cruncher.
What's
Okay.
that 10-9 doing? I'm sorry to
Yeah. Poker Cruncher is like the Mac version of Equilabs.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
you were
Red is
saying, Phil?
red is 100%, purple is 75%, pink is 50%, and gray is 25%. And blue is 50% raise, 50% fold. And
Okay.
that's what I'm gonna learn. So Joey, but when you pointed that out about those king deuce, king three, king four in MTTs, isn't that also down in the 40 big blind, 30 big blind, 20 big blind ranges, not in the 100 big blind range?
It
Even-
definitely is that low.
The three bets, you three bet the king, king three, king
Oh
four.
yeah, definitely.
All
I
right,
can't,
I used to
I
not, but
can't-
my coach told me that definitely should be.
I
let's see
can't
if the modern
honestly
chart says
answer that because I haven't studied or played MTTs in 9 months now.
Okay, here's the MTT version of it. Way up at, when you're up at 100, you're not doing it in this modern solver. The
Okay.
idea is still there. You've still got that high-low combo that you're there, but you're missing that part of the range. Drop this down from
Sure.
100 to, you know, some normal MTT size, and now all this, and it's exactly what you
Well,
said.
40 is actually where I used to tell people to start studying.
Yeah, exactly, because there is no play above that. But you know, go down to 25, and it's all over that king, and there's your king deuce now getting in there.
Yeah, all the lower pocket pairs. Yeah.
Right. So this is a function of two things. This is a function of stack depth, because even in MTT you do it. And stack depth is enough. That's enough to, I don't even need to say blind. I don't even need to say
Sure.
there's a blind in there and there's a rake, because
Yeah,
stack
sure.
depth to you. All right. But this guy
Nice.
found the king four. Good for him. Extra aggressive. Joey, you were saying.
So ace-3 should fold or
Right.
4-bet.
There's party. There's his fold.
I always felt like a fish when I was folding ace-3 in that spot. I'm glad to see I'm supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, ace-3 defends against the small blind and folds against the button. Right there. Okay.
Ace-7 opens. Oh, is king-7 a 3-bet or is it king-6, king-5 suited? King-7 suited might be a 3-bet from the small blind. And 5-7 should be a fold.
Yeah, 5-7 should be a fold. But this guy decides ace-7 on the button is not good enough for him. That is
Bizarre.
that is
That's
a
weird.
level
His
of
stats
too
are
tight.
decent.
That is a level of too tight that I don't want to play against his raises.
So when he folds, king-7 should probably raise and take it.
Absolutely, he should. He does.
Is there any limping frequency with king-7 suited?
I don't like the limping cash. I know at some point Jonathan Little did release charts that had some limping in cash, but
I just mean
I-
blind versus blind, small blind versus big
Right,
blind.
right. There
Yeah.
was none in once. It's a decision you get to make whether how you want to play it. I've made the decision not to do it yet.
Really?
Yeah. he
Okay.
just never
I
went.
used to play a razor fold strategy from the small blind in tournaments, which was clearly wrong. Then I started
Yeah.
mixing in limps.
yeah, in tournaments it's different.
I mean, you gain a lot if your opponent's overfold, considering rake. You're taking it down pre-flop. So you're not, in most sites, you're not paying rake.
So if you're in a timed game or a home game, then the limping then not having a limping strategy from the small blind isn't optimal, but you'll still, if you play well, you'll still win. If you play razor fold from the small blind.
Okay.
This is what GTO Wizard says to do. And as you can see, if you take this, if you make a slight modification to this range and just say, I'm just not going to do any of the calls, you're playing the same game.
Yeah.
You have to,
I see
you just
that.
have to loot. You just don't get to play. You know, maybe you don't get to play the 10-5 and the 9-5 because
That's
they're
a very surprising looking range here.
Yeah.
So, CG, a streamer that I watch quite a bit, who plays 200 NL Blitz. And he is in love with GTO Wizard and he follows it to the letter. He implemented a limping strategy for a while, but he recently just gave up on it.
Yeah.
It just adds a significant amount of complexity to your game with not a requisite amount of return in EV.
they did an analysis a while ago with the old poker coaching ranges and said, what do you give up playing if you could play a perfect complicated limp raise fold strategy or limp call you know what I mean?
Yep.
A small blind strategy that includes limping, and you compare that to the EV of a good razor fold strategy, and the difference was very small.
Interesting.
And the number of times that you got folded to in the small blind online to even get in this position means that you're working so hard for that extra little bit of EV. There's so many other places to concentrate on it. And when you play live, you're almost never playing small blind versus big blind because live, you should chop.
Yeah.
Because the casino is just taking all the money.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, King 7 is not a limp. King 7 suited is an easy raise. It's, I mean,
Sure.
look, oh, easy raise.
And
Joe.
also, those numbers are against a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm playing small blind, I'm assuming that the big blind is worse than me,
Mhm.
which
Sure.
most of the times they are. And that I'm just gonna push them around.
For sure.
Yeah. And when I'm
And
live,
when-
and if I'm online playing small blind, I'm going to assume that the big blind is taller than me because they usually are. All right.
Except the butts.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Go
You're still narrating, Joey.
Oh, okay. Queen 8 and the button is a little bit weak. But it should walk the big blind here.
We go-
To be honest, though, that's only one pip outside of.
Yeah, Queen 9 does it. And
9-8 is borderline too.
I'm
Yeah, this
calling
is cusp versus cusp here.
Yeah.
calling 9-8 against the small blind and folding it against the button. But he's not.
Really?
That's what I'm
So-
calling.
Okay.
Again, we can see from his, we have 22 hands, but
Mhm.
this correlates to his VPIP, right?
Hmm.
It's pretty high VPIP.
Because I'm defending that all day long. But
It's a fold in solver world for sure. 9-8.
In cash,
wow. Okay. Gotcha.
in tournaments, you're not letting this go at all.
Yeah.
But in
What-
cash, it's like a little bit below the.
One way to
That's
think
why I'm
about
here,
it is
boys.
there's a
I'm
rake
learning.
tax. So because all your winnings post flop are essentially taxed, that moves hands that have very low EV into a fold.
Sure.
Because you have to have a higher EV to call or 3-bet or whatever in order to overcome the tax of rake.
Yep. For sure.
And the biggest change from the ranges of tournament to cash is that big blind defense range. The big
Okay.
blind folds so much more in cash. And the next biggest thing is how often you call in position in any position other than the button. So
Okay. Sure.
hijack raises cut off at 100 big blind. The wizard doesn't has a pure raise and fold strategy there.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Sorry, don't mean to be derailing this too much. Just that's how I like to study. I really like to be considering all parts of my range and whatnot.
Sure.
No, that's good.
All right, now this is this is a miss versus a miss. Let's see what happens here.
Well, the in position player should probably win it.
Yeah.
It should check and the button can maybe see bet.
I would think it's a mix.
Yeah. Scotty, you there? We need somebody to push buttons.
Pushing buttons.
Oh, okay.
So what do you guys think this Queen 8
Oh, wait.
offsuit is a little
We get a
bit?
donk?
No, it went check, bet, call.
Okay, sorry. I was paying attention.
Alright, so when check on the flop,
No, it went check, bet, call on the flop.
Then why is the turn card
Oh.
out there while the bets are still in
Oh,
front?
No,
oh, I'm
flop
sorry.
went check, check.
No, flop
But
I
was
check,
didn't
check.
see the turn. Sorry, it did. I thought I didn't see the turn card yet. Yep.
When check,
What's with
then
this
check bet,
call?
call. This guy is,
Yeah,
I,
terrible call.
right,
Okay.
it's a terrible call, and I guess, is he going to? I mean, he can't wait to see what the guy does on the river. He's out of position, so he's got to call and then blast the river.
The only
Yeah.
reason to do this, I think, would be if you're planning a check raise bluff on big blind with your 10 blockers.
Check raise bluff the river and hope that he bets the river for it? Or
Well,
blast-
I can't think of any other, I mean,
It
We're-
seems like a terrible
we're in
strategy,
a
but it
very
seems like
much
that's what
a-
he's doing.
we're very much in a sliver
Well-
of the
That's what he's
tree
doing.
here, but there we go. That was his plan.
That was
Yeah.
his plan. His
Just
plan
puts his
was-
Trying to-
opponent on some unpaired ace-x combo, and it's like, all right, I'm going to apply pressure and make him fold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're trying to
Not
figure out
advisable.
the mindset of a fish.
Yeah.
But they don't always have a plan involved. They're like, oh, I want to bet now.
Yeah.
Right. I will say that given how bad this call is, this is the only reason to make it. But if you do it, $9 seems too small.
Oh, for sure.
Play it, yeah, because boy, does this look a lot like a busted heart draw.
It's gonna work.
Why is
Gonna work.
$9
Gonna work.
not enough? It's 75% pot.
Okay, because I thought,
Yeah, it's
Somehow-
enough.
yeah,
And it's
me,
a paired board, so you don't bet as much.
you're just right. I'm just wrong.
Well, Scotty has a good point. I mean, if he's gonna do this, I mean, who knows what a proper dunking range is, but I mean, he should be betting his equity, right? So, and he's claiming trips are better.
Yeah.
So a bigger sizing would make sense in some way.
Right. The queen eight offsuit on the button, is that too wide?
For
Um,
what part?
When he
Opening.
made the bet there,
The
No,
open,
yeah, going to open. Queen eight, I would prefer.
it's borderline. It might have a sliver, but my bottom is queen 9.
Okay,
Yeah, same with
the
me.
offsuit nines. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, queen eight
It's
off is like
cusp.
the very,
Look,
very.
there's a tiny sliver there.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but we could discount most of those, right? I mean,
Yeah.
9-8, queen
But-
8, jack 8.
he rolled a high number.
Or
I'm,
maybe
I'm,
he
I'm
just
taking
used,
all these, I'm taking all these and, you know, and just making them 10-8.
Okay, I like that.
I'm raising 10-8 there. All right. But when he does this, it's gonna work, and he rewards himself as the best player in the world.
Wow. Disgusting hand.
Yeah. Right.
That makes me sick.
But you know, I like seeing that hand because I get dunked into all the time. So, it's interesting to see where the bluffs come from.
It's very
Yeah.
bizarre because you say but what did he call me with? And I think if you answer sometimes 9-8 offsuit, you're gonna be wrong way more than you're right. I don't think that's a common thing we just saw.
Yeah, I
Well-
looked them up when it makes sense for them to bluff, but my general rule of thumb on the versus the big river bets is don't be a hero. It's
Yeah.
generally not profitable.
All right.
all right, so I'm
Go ahead,
raising
Jeff.
queen 10 here.
Yep.
King, ooh.
I
If
don't know
he
why he-
folds, we already saw queen 8 is borderline.
Mhm.
But it should be a walk if he folds. This guy is kind of nitty too.
And do I have we seen any, oh. He's, on a broken stack. Let's see if the queen 8 comes in, because I think the queen 8 will get promoted. Let's just do a quick change here to a broken stack. He's got 30, something on that. Yeah, he's got 30. Let's just look at our opening range here on the button against. I'm just looking look at that, justified.
Nice.
I needed the boost. And 20. No. So between 20 and 40, 30, it was there. Right. King deuce, he's got to defend this. Oh, but he defends it by check raise. He defends it with a 3-bet. Good for him.
I
And
like
by the
it.
way, this is a 3-bet. The king deuce does 3-bet
Yeah,
here.
Yeah,
That's
I
a-
like
yeah.
it.
All
Makes
the lower,
sense.
all the wheel kings have 3-bets here.
This is such a fold from the queen 8. I don't know
Wow.
why I'm playing like this. That's
I
just wrong.
think you see his VPIP.
Yes.
And also you saw his queen deuce free bet before.
I saw his
Shit.
queen deuce 3-bet. That's my reason. I remembered that, and I'm
We'll go with that.
But
remembering
is
that
this the
queen
same
8
player? Because that player left.
No, it's not the same player.
Oh, it's not, got a broken set too in the same
Just a di-
spot. All right.
Oh, here's why. Do you remember what I said earlier? I said if a guy comes back on a short stack, we wouldn't be surprised that it's the same guy.
Yeah.
I've decided it was the same guy. I'm doing something to justify this,
No,
but actually
no, you can't, online, you can't buy back on the same table within an hour and not use the stack that you had before.
are you
That's on the site, I think, Joey.
are you sure on Ignition you can't?
Oh, I don't know. Usually most online
Yeah, no,
sites,
Ignition is different.
There's about
Ignition is different because it's
hour
a
before.
numbers. Yeah, I think Ignition is different.
Yeah, Scotty, what's that green number next to the pre-flop raise? Is that 3-bet
V-
percentage?
V is VPIP. P is the PFR.
The third
This
one, yeah.
is their calling range.
Oh,
They
calling.
call it a pre-flop range. That's what's green, and this is their
Calling. Okay. That's,
and this
that's-
is their 4-bet.
is that a custom HUD? Or-
Yeah. I mean, it's a normal HUD. It's just
Yeah.
my stats on the HUD that I used.
Okay.
Because I found this number that people don't look at it a lot. I thought this number was really important. How often are they calling raises?
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, and it tells you like it breaks down 33%, 1 in third, 1 in 3, whatever.
So yeah. So there's
So
nothing.
he's gonna be rewarded.
He's going to be rewarded, and I'm going to be punished for my bad play. And there's his bet, and it works, and he's a genius.
Is that the best line for out of position there? Just bet super small.
Well, I mean, SPR's got a lot to do with it, right? So,
Oh,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
big enough given his SPR.
yeah, I think if there's SPR, it's fine. I mean, what would you want to do with your ace king?
And then just rip it on most turns.
Yeah.
Or every turn. If you get called. Most turns.
Ace king's really strong. I don't know if you have to rip it. Depends on the run out.
He's
Oh, I
talking
meant
about
king deuce. King deuce clubs.
Oh, king deuce?
If you get jammed on, you're going to
Probably.
call, I guess. Yeah, you're going to call. So you have no implied odds, but you get.
Oh,
Odds are not bad.
just
Yeah.
as we talked a lot about 3E and 2E betting,
Yeah.
I did that chart for the
Yeah, okay.
2E and 3E betting.
Yeah, I'll show that. It's right here. That's not what we want. I'll just put it up here.
What's 2E and 3E betting?
I'll show you.
Geometric sizing. 3E is using geometric sizing from the flop, and 2E is using it from the turn to the river or from flop to turn.
It's in these notes here, the last of the cash game study session notes. Here it is.
Okay, perfect.
It's available
Now
online for anybody who wants it.
And when you're
It's
deep,
that
like
one right
100 of
there. Not the video, go 2 up. That if the SPR is a certain
cool.
number, that's how much you have to bet. Say it's 10-1, you have to bet 90% on flop, turn, and river for smooth betting to get all in.
Awesome. Thanks for the cheat sheet.
Do we want to
And
spend
you're-
a little bit of time tomorrow going over this in more detail?
If people want to, we can.
Yeah.
I think I forget who this. Somebody mentioned I posted this like on 4 or 5 different threads in the forum. Somebody made a comment that his coach had him study the 2-1, 4-1, and 6-1 geometric pot sizes, and then you can estimate from there.
Yeah.
Which I think was a really good thing. If you study those 3,
Yeah.
And then you can work around the others. Just know that they're more or less.
And when you're playing 100 effective, you're probably taking those geometric sizing lines on a lot more flops than you would be in tournaments, I would think. Because tournaments, you're generally going small, large, large for sizings on the different streets.
No, sometimes you still want to bet small on the flop.
Okay,
Um,
that's a function of range interaction.
yes.
Okay, gotcha.
But there are some times where you do want to bet large and you can do a geometric sizing from the flop.
Okay,
It doesn't happen a lot, but there are times where that does happen.
Especially
I'm
in a,
just trying to. Sorry.
I was just saying, especially in a 3-bet pot.
Okay, okay.
Because
I'm
now-
just trying to figure out ways to pile all of the money in with my strongest value combos, and that's kind of hard to do when flop C bets are so small and it just goes call, 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 and then
Yeah, that is hard. Like if it goes small, small, then you might have to go 200%
Sure, sure,
if you're
pot,
gonna
pot.
try to do that.
sure.
Here we go. All right, one more Joey.
Oh, I was gonna say,
These are
if you
dark.
feel
These
like
are
playing
dark.
those hands like Queen 8 from the button,
Mhm.
and you don't, for some reason, you don't feel right folding it against this person, don't call it. Just 4-bet it.
4-bet it. Just 4-bet it. Yeah,
Sure.
that would have been way better.
It's a good point.
Also, just folding it would have been fine.
Yeah, folding it would have been best, but
Yeah. Yeah.
if for some reason you have something on a player, it's like I think he's just BSing me. Just pull the trigger,
Right,
Sure.
put the money in there, and let him make the decision.
right.
I like it.
I said this was the last one, but but you've had a couple of walks, so we're gonna do a couple more, Joey.
It's my first walk,
I know.
and
Oh,
it's
is it?
not going to walk.
Walk.
2-3's going to play.
Have faith in your VPIP of
That's
70.
what yeah, that's what, I mean, I'm gonna say that, since I know my Queen 8 stuff, I'm gonna say that it was this particular player and trying to get in with this particular player. And assuming that he was the same guy, and he probably is the same guy.
I think it is actually.
Looking at the play, I think it is. And so far, I've lost money to this guy. Yep.
And Villain 88 is tight as shit, so he's not going to defend this.
Right.
He shouldn't defend it anyhow, but
To a 2x
oh,
raise
to a min,
small
yeah,
blind,
to a min bet, yeah.
you can defend
that's
any 2
different.
cards if you want.
Even if he's short stocked?
It's just flat up. You need 25% equity in position. What hand doesn't have 25% equity against a range?
Yeah, okay, true.
Unless the range is aces. Just aces is the range.
The way
But-
that I think about that, it's like calling such a junky combo, even like absolute miracle flop. I'm never catching even close to a full double from that stack. So like, why even get involved?
Okay.
And
Sure.
like, you're never gonna see that miracle flop's gonna be so rare. You're just gonna
Yeah.
be folding to so many C bets. So
Yeah.
but
You're not giving up that much by not doing it. But
it's getting a little picky at
it's
these,
Jonathan, but Jonathan Little
prices.
was, that he pointed out, he said, if someone min raises you from the small blind, they are saying you are not good enough to achieve, to generate, what's the word I'm looking for? Not to achieve, to realize 25% equity in position.
Okay, okay. I'll keep that in mind.
But this guy, is very tight. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
It's an interesting hand. We're gonna get some action here.
What's gonna happen now? You're up, Joey.
Okay. I know I might sound suicidal, but I might be for betting this king queen here as it goes around. But knowing that, well, actually, I wouldn't be limping it.
Yeah, he's not for betting.
With the villain, actually, if I'm paying attention and have a HUD and villain 88 3-bets me, I'm probably folding king queen.
Because
Yeah, I am.
Hmm.
So this is,
But
yeah,
against,
so
against an unknown small blind, I'd four bet king, queen.
the only question I have is this a 4.5 or a 5?
5.5. That's how I'm playing it.
5.5.
I don't know. The villain in the with ace jack here has some pretty decent stacks with a fairly decent 3-bet range. I think I'd be more likely to 4-bet him.
The thing is, the reason you think he's so tight is because we've seen what he's folded.
No, I don't think he's tight. I
No.
think he looks decent.
He folded some hands that we wouldn't have, but maybe he stepped away from his computer, maybe a cat walked across it. But his stats are not tight. His
Yeah,
stats,
against his stats look solid.
Yeah,
yeah,
22-18 with 13% 3-bets, a
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
good
that's,
stat.
Wait, no,
those are reggy numbers.
his three bet's not 13.
I
Is
see
it?
13. Yeah, I
Oh,
see
okay.
13.
his 3-bet is 13%.
I think the
Yeah.
4-bet is a lot better versus
Yeah,
a
I'd
3-bet
4-bet.
that high, but
Yeah, against those stats, I'd four bet him.
We all agree this is too small an ISO, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you were trying to be
Yeah.
exploitative with your ISO, ace jack is not a good enough hand to play this game with.
Just to reiterate, if you're on button in position versus this limp, you're going to 4.5, but out of position in the small blind, you're going to 5.5,
5.5 or 6.
Yeah.
but a little bit smaller in position.
Or five at
yeah,
the
that's
minimum.
textbook.
Five at the minimum.
3.5.
Scotty?
I need to increase my ISO a little bit.
Yeah. Scotty,
Oh, there it
green
is.
number-
You got it.
Scotty's
the
green
4-bet.
number.
Well, no, that's
That's a limp
that's a,
re-raise.
that's a limp re-raise. That's a crap play.
Yeah.
Well, you got your fake re-raise. Your re-raise bluff here.
Yep.
So this is
What
putting
a weird line.
ace
Yeah.
jack off in a very interesting spot. I mean, the pot odds are easy to call, but this guy's now claiming that he has aces or kings.
That's what he's saying.
So this becomes a very interesting hand to play with the ace blocker.
Annoying out of position too.
Do you think ace or kings play this way online?
Some people do.
I think people
I
claim it.
only see aces play take that line online.
So then this becomes a very interesting. The pot odds are really attractive. You're playing out of position. You've got an aces blocker. I think this is too good to fold, I think.
I would fold it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I might be influenced by seeing the cards.
I would be pushed towards a fold more by being out of position too.
Yeah.
But
I think
this
maybe
is,
I'm more skewed from playing live a lot because I've seen people do that with like sixes and sevens and
Yeah, that could happen for sure. That being said, though, in game, I might be looking at my pot odds and I might find the call.
Yeah,
you
this
got,
size
you got
is
you
really
got a
small.
call with an ace, because he could have like what, maybe kings. I mean, at best. I mean, you have
The
an
one problem
ace.
with this hand is that it against the range that he's claiming, if not aces and kings, you've got reverse implied odd issues here.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Right.
Like my fold, I would fold this, and it would be exploitable. I mean, exploitive fold, just based on the ranges you typically see are aces, kings, and if he shows up here with king, queen occasionally or sixes, and you're out of position, yeah, it's definitely an exploitative fold.
Yeah. Of
So
course,
question
the
for you
goal- the
guys,
goal is
what
to-
about slow line going to 20?
Nah,
Probably an
I don't want to do
probably
that.
an argument for it,
Right.
but I don't think it would be a common thing.
I don't want to do it against a limp re-raise.
Yeah, this is
I'm not in game.
really important for me to see because obviously this happens on occasion, especially when someone's in UTG or early position, and it's important for me to see there's occasionally bluffs here.
well, let's look at this from MDF point of view. The MDF for a villain 88 is about 35%, I guess. And if he's ISOing about 10% of hands, which means he has to play about the top 4% of hands at minimum.
And ace jack is not in that.
No, ace jack is around the 6th or 7th percentile.
Yeah.
Okay.
that we're up against CTG. Yeah, you're really hoping to flop a two pair there or straight with the ace jack. I mean, you're right about the reverse implied odds. Scotty,
Yep.
that green number, is that call to a raise or is that
Yep,
call
that's
three
called,
bet?
yeah, calling a pre-flop raise,
Okay.
right?
Do you ever click that button and pay attention to like the other stats, like call, three bet, call, whatever?
I don't get that. Well, I don't, because I'm not playing with the HUD live. This HUD is available only after the fact for me. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
have this while I'm playing.
What about anybody else? Does anybody
Yeah, in game
look at
on
this?
sites that allow it, I absolutely am.
So the
There's a
one
lot of
stat that I
goodies.
use a lot when I dig deep is
Yeah.
Someone who bets versus a missed C bet in position. I think that's a really important stat. Some people overstab when out of position checks in an SRP. And I think that's a really good tool for understanding how effective your check raise will be.
Oh, like whether they're trying to take it down or whether they're trying to like bet for kind of value kind of thing.
Yeah, someone who,
Yes,
I think it's
not-
called bet versus miss C bet.
I
And
think Poker Track calls it a float incorrectly.
yeah, I use holding manager, but I think that's a very important stat. And I use that a
What do you-
lot to understand how often I want to check raise.
Okay, that makes sense. Where do you find it, if you don't mind me asking? I'm guessing a flop right there.
It would be in flop, I think. I don't know what it's called in poker track,
Here's the
but
float.
essentially
Look,
it's bet
it-
to miss
has-
C bet.
C bet, 2 of 5, 40%. But to me, that's not large enough sample to,
Right,
Yeah.
we need a lot.
Yeah, that you need a bigger sample for that kind of stuff. Is the word missed in there?
Yes, exactly.
That's what you want.
There we go. Boom.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Last hand, Joey.
all right, 6-5 should fold, but we know he's not gonna fold.
I folded that one.
Oh, wow.
He's gotten, he's
So
got,
then the small blind should raise and probably take it.
there we go. Good. All right. Who's up next? You get to have ace king suited.
I think we should go back one hand and let's have a conversation
Okay.
about, let's say villain 95 limps, like we've seen him do so many times.
Right.
What do we do with 6-5 suited in the small blind?
With his broken stack, I think I'd probably just fold. But if it was full stacks, yeah, I would mind ISO.
I think all three are acceptable.
Well, I liked, yeah, I like the first reasoning, like, you know, that you don't have the implied odds to like get his whole stack and whatnot. That and, you know, I would also look to see if, what's his limp fold percentage.
I mean, I ISO in game a lot, but I do have completes as well.
I don't know if I ISO this far down in range from out of position. If I was on the button, yeah, I would definitely ISO this.
Okay.
On the small blind, I think I prefer calling this and seeing a flop instead of ISOing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna see the flop out of position against two players.
a large portion of the hands I want to ISO are my offsuit broadways.
Okay.
Obviously, ace 10, king, queen. Doesn't matter if it's suited or unsuited, they're getting raised. Eights plus getting raised.
What are we doing with king jack suited and offsuit?
ISO.
King jack's offsuit, I ISO. I think we can mix. We can mix more of the suited high combos. And if we're going to use any suited combos to ISO, it might be some of the high low.
Ace four, ace five. Just like you would as a three bet.
Yeah, the high low, like king 2 suited,
Yeah.
queen 3 suited.
I will say this, I do this quite a bit. If I'm in the small blind and I get limps before me, if I'm not gonna ISO, I will look at the big blind. Make sure he's not like a reggy good player that's gonna squeeze often a lot, and I'll limp that small blind more often if like this player in this, he's got a pretty high 3-bet, but he's got pretty fishy stats, so I would be more likely to just complete.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, when you see his gap, 36-16, he's more
Yeah.
passive than aggressive.
Yeah.
And I'm probably a little too loose with this idea of if I'm in the small blind, and it's limp, 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 and I've got a hand that I don't want to ISO with that flops well in any way, a suited connector, a suited gapper, and I flick in the chip, and then the guy does squeeze, I go, I flicked in half a big blind.
Yeah.
Well,
What do I care?
And those are the
Actually-
combos you don't mind seeing multi-way and flops either when
Right,
you do
exactly.
end up seeing a
But
flop.
the idea
Actually,
of I'm not
no.
afraid of being squeezed because it's only half a big blind. I don't think that's good play, but I do know that that's what I do.
We don't have any solvers looking at limp ranges yet.
Mhm.
But from what I've seen with solvers, when there's more, like if there was more than one limper, I think this might start going towards a fold.
You do get
Because the more limpers that are in the hand, the more reverse implied odds we have to deal with, especially out of position.
Yep.
Where we're going to have, what's that called? Equity realization issues to start
Yeah.
with, and then we got to deal with the reverse implied odds at the same time.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. But this is what happens. All right. Who wants ace king suited?
I'll take a couple.
All right. Larry gets ace king suited.
So, hijack that's too early for Jack 10 off. Queen 9 raises, ace king, 3 bets. Big blind should
No,
get out of the way.
I think Jack 10 off
I
might
agree.
have Jack 10 off might have a sliver.
It has
In the
it has a sliver in the hijack. For me, that's 8%. I mean, it's small. Queen 10 is
Yeah.
Queen 10 is about 50%, but Jack 10 is small. This is what it looks like in GTO Wizard Solver land in the hijack. Let's go to 2.5s because that's what we're playing. Opening size. Oh, on the 6, but oh wait, we got to go back to 100. We go 100, 2.5. This is the chart we want to look at. And there's your little bit of Jack 10, and there's your 50% Queen 10.
Yeah, it's an intuitive RFI range.
Right. So let's see if he goes for it. He doesn't. So
So I think 11. I think that's just too small. I think you should do 11
Whatever.
bucks.
Yeah, I go a bit bigger.
But this
leave-
size is interesting. I mean, he could be using this side to entice a call with this.
That king 10 in the
That's
big
what it
blind,
is.
that's slam dunk fold, 100% fold, right?
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Anything else
Gotcha.
is lighting money on fire, to quote Jonathan Little.
Yeah, that's one of his favorites.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he should fold. He should fold. Even though the pot odds are sexy and he's
Yeah.
in position, I don't think this hand is gonna play very well post against whatever 3-bet range he has.
Oh, in position, it's so close though with these odds.
Yeah, you're getting a very sexy price.
I
Right.
know I find both plays depending on how I'm feeling on that particular day.
But boy, it is such a fold. I mean, to the normal size, to what
Yeah,
the
normal
be.
for sure. Normal size fold.
Look at how far off this call is. It's going to be. I mean, Queen
Oh,
Jack is
wow.
folding. Wait, we're not there. That's the small blind. We haven't gotten to the
Oh.
button. Back to the button yet.
Oh, my bad.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a 4-bet.
There's some
So
four
maybe you
bets.
should 4-bet against this smaller size. I think,
That'll
I
go
mean,
well.
there's a conversation about what this smaller size implies, but you have to see, I think you have to see a.
Yeah.
You have to see a villain for longer to understand if he's
Yeah.
using this exploitatively.
I think I was picturing something more like this. Raise 3-bet when I thought that was so far off. Oh, sorry, small blind 3-bet. I was thinking more of a range like this. That's why I meant, I was expecting to see this.
Scotty,
Mhm.
change your 3-bet size to smaller, and I think
Hey, good idea.
it still won't get down to his size, but it might
do it.
make it 10 instead of
Good idea.
12.
3-bet smaller. All right. Now. we got
Still not
three
that
bet.
much smaller,
Oh,
but
That's him. That's him. Here's
Oh.
us.
oh, okay.
So it increases the four bet frequency
Yeah.
of queen
And it-
nine suited.
Right.
More calls.
And it gives us, and it lets us call the king, queen 10 and queen jack pure. We never have to fold these. We folded these before. We had some folds there. All right. So four bet or fold, but instead I call because I play bad.
Again,
Price
this
is
is an exploitive
attractive.
play by you. I don't think it's terrible because you're playing in position against
Yeah.
an idiot.
Versus a small three bet, I think it's completely reasonable.
Yep. So here I am playing against an idiot who has me dominated in my hearts.
Can you go back one? I think you've actually, if you look at just direct odds, you've got direct odds, right? Yeah, you've got direct odds to call.
Yeah, I do. Against his actual combo, I have the odds. And I'm in position with equity realization. But boy, do I have some heavy reverse implied odds on
Yeah.
not this
Yeah.
flop.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is an interesting, so this size is fine. I don't think you get to fold.
You're never raising, right?
Hmm.
You don't have that many raises in position.
You've
I
got a
don't
little bit of a nut advantage, and this flop is kind of maybe even good for your range.
I've got 7-8, I've got 8-9. He doesn't have either of those.
And eights and nines at
With this
five.
combo though, you'll find the raise.
No, maybe not. I do know that solver likes to raise top pair with kind of like not so good kickers sometimes.
Okay.
I've seen it. I don't know if this is a situation where it does it, but
I would just be thinking it's too good, too much equity.
yeah,
It's fine just to call. It's better
yeah,
just to
I
call.
would call too, personally. I was trying to think if the solver ever did it.
So now
Sure.
you're never folding with your additional equity.
Yep.
See if he polarizes.
He polarizes by checking.
So I wonder if a small bet is good here. And because you could call a check raise now.
Personally, I would check behind.
I would have to, I don't want to call it check. I mean, if the check raise is big, I'm going to throw away my 9 and I don't want to throw away my 9.
You're gonna, okay,
I mean, if the check, like
you do have four outs for the
do a-
nuts.
yeah, give me let me bet smaller than a third of pot. Let me bet 8 into this. And he comes over the top of that with 40, half my remaining stack.
Yeah, but what strong hands is he gonna check the turn, bet the flop and check the turn?
And check raise the
Use-
turn.
Queen jack.
Turn straight.
Well, you're blocking queen jack, but
He could
Right.
do it with his jacks, queens, kings and aces if he wanted to, if he was that kind of guy. He could certainly do
pocket
it with
tens.
pocket tens and pocket nines.
On this board,
do it
I
exactly.
find it unlikely, of course, more with aces and kings, but with a draw available, I think he's more likely to bet those kind of hands, especially with a 10 there. So with
So
that being
I like your,
said,
oh, sorry, Skate. I know, did you?
no, sorry. No, I think I like betting my 9 here more than checking.
So I like this, yeah, I like this bet. I like this bet. I think that you can call, I think you can withstand a check raise because of your additional equity.
I like
So
how I don't play the way I play. That's what I like about this.
Here's a common heuristic, and this might be a hard board to determine if this falls in line, but when you're in position and you call a 3-bet and they see bet, you call, and then they check the turn. If the turn is good for you, you're typically betting small. If they check a turn that might be good for them, say a king, and they check, then you would actually be betting big, which is a fairly common heuristic. I don't know if this run out like this, because it's very connected and wet in terms of connectedness, if how that applies. I would think this is good for you and bad for them, which makes it a small
Same, I agree.
bet,
Good point.
which I think your bet kind of falls into that category.
I think you check back a lot here. It's
Yeah,
completed
same.
flush.
Yeah.
How
Get
about
in,
Oh wow.
off?
no fear.
No fear.
Are you bluffing?
I don't-
I assume I am.
Yeah, if I'm betting that, I'm kind of betting a little bit smaller, but I'm usually just checking to showdown, personally.
Yeah, this has got to be a bluff. So you're
know
you're
who-
turning your marginal
I know.
value into bluff.
I don't know who's playing this hand because it's certainly not me. I think this is terrible. I don't
Oh,
hate,
you
I
still
don't
in the
hate
same
this.
hand?
Yeah, I don't hate this. I
Ca-
think it's wrong, but I don't hate it. But this is just whack.
Yeah,
Can-
I mean,
Yeah.
if you are bluffing, you need a diamond blocker, and you don't have it. Yeah, I don't
I don't know what this
get
is.
the bet.
It's gonna work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna work though,
Did
exactly.
you, well,
It's
So
a
you were
value bluff.
bluffing or you were value betting?
It's a value bluff.
What were you going
Value
for
bluff.
then?
how did we get here like this?
I was going for an interesting conversation. That's all I was going for. Raise, 3-bet extra small, which gets me to call with a hand that normally should be folding to a 3-bet or 4-betting. Not saying this is right, saying this is what happened. Bet, certainly not gonna fold to this. Didn't see a reason to raise it. He checks. I think checking behind is best, but seeing it as a green light isn't the worst thing in the world. And then this, going, well, just in case, I think I'm ahead. I think he has to fold all my bets, but just in case he has an overpair, let's make sure I win it. I don't know. This is just,
How are you gonna win if he has no prepare?
maybe he
He
folds
should
now.
fold.
Plus came in.
I'm
Maybe-
not calling an overpair.
Maybe he doesn't want to, put in a pot size bet when the flush came in, when I've got all the 2-pair combos and the straight combos.
I think you have more the
It was
straight
right.
combos. I think they have
Lot
more.
of 2-pair combos too.
I think they both have flushes, right? Because they could be playing the flush this way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but he doesn't, but when he bets, he doesn't slow down on the 10 with a flush draw that often. Not saying he never does it. And then he doesn't check the river with it that often.
Well, yeah, you're right about that. I don't think they.
I
check the
still
river.
think you should
You're
check
right.
the turn.
You're right.
You
Yeah,
got, you think I should bet you think you like the bet of 12 here.
No, I would check the turn.
Right. You think I should check the turn. So did I. When
Yeah,
now,
there's
thought
no
this was a
reason
mistake.
to. Cause now it's like you're turning your hand into a bluff.
Yeah.
And you're gonna make his range too strong where your 9 doesn't win as often.
If you're betting turn, yeah, I like smaller, and then when he does call, he's gonna check pretty much every river, and when it's a terrible card for you, you can just check to showdown too.
I should just check to show.
And if you did not have, well, I think, go back to the turn. Before you bet, if you didn't have a marginal made hand, I think you could probably bet 35 here.
Right, with 35 with real value and with real bluffs.
Yeah,
This
Yeah, I
is,
like that.
cause
This is-
remember what I said, when the board changes,
Mhm.
like I think that 10 was an equity shifting card towards you.
Mhm.
So I think you can probably, if you're gonna bet the turn, you can probably bomb it there.
What a weird hand. All right. Hey, another ace king.
All right, am I driving here?
You're driving.
Go, Larry.
So the hijack RFIs, our hero can mix what he does here between fold and call. And that's it.
All right.
There's no
Remember,
three bets
Wait.
with eights.
but
No
remember,
3-bets with 8s.
remember, we have no, remember, we have
Larry,
no
you-
3-bets in the cutoff in the current wizard.
I know, Joe, I'm
Larry-
trying to get there. I'm not gonna get 13% this way, am
You wanna get your 3-bet numbers up, you said.
I? You got a good point, Joey.
Because in tournaments, I'm just flatting all day long. But in cash, I've started mixing in a lot more 3-bets with these like middling pocket pairs.
So the wizard at 100 big blinds does not have any calls from the cutoff or the hijack versus the earlier positions. It's 3-bet or fold. And
Okay.
then there are so many hands that you look at and you go, I don't want a 3-bet or fold. I want to call this hand. But I'm just saying, the wizard doesn't give them to you until 150 big blinds.
Okay. Oh, I
Uh,
like the 3-bet with 8s here. You have position on the RFI player too.
Oh, you're saying you could start calling at 150 plus?
I'm saying what the wizard lets you do. I'm not saying what's right. Just let's look at this. You'll see this when the under the gun raises, there is not a call until you get to the button. When the hijack raises, there is not a call till you get to the button. They just
What's
don't
it doing with eights and cutoff here? It's mixing.
Mixing, mostly folding.
mixing.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Wow.
And then you go
Yeah.
at 150, the wizard gives you the calling range.
Now you get some calls at 150.
Yeah, yeah, it lets you do that. And poker
Did
coaching.
we lose you, Scotty?
No, I'm here.
It looks like
Yeah,
it.
it looks like he is frozen.
What?
So, yeah, so
Oh, there he is.
I'm back. Wizard's frozen though. Anyway, it'll get there eventually. Am I frozen again? I must be. I can't hear you guys.
depends on what ranges you're looking at. But Scotty's back. But
I'm
it actually does use a 3-bet only strat
Oh, okay,
in
gotcha.
this position.
Cool.
Right.
There's new ranges which are without rake, which you'd use like at a Texas card room where you're using a time game where it mixes.
Okay.
And yeah, I notice now we're at 150 big blinds, and now you get calls in the cutoff.
and you never fold the eights there. Once you get to the 150, and it gives you the call.
I
Your
assume that
implied
there's
odds
only
are just bigger.
yeah, I assume there's only calls in the button and cutoff because you could treat sometimes the cutoff as the button because you could buy it, but never in the hijack and low jack.
No, I think the hijack has it also at this when it goes
Really?
I
to
don't,
yeah, they give them to you. They give you across the board. There aren't a lot of them.
Okay.
I mean, it's a small percentage of the range. You know,
Okay, but
1%.
mostly
1%.
button and cutoff. Oh wow.
You know,
Okay.
and what I'm doing currently is I'm learning the 100 big blind ones because that's what most of the play is on ignition, and I'm learning for ignition. So I'm learning the hundreds, and then I'm gonna break those rules when I want to play, and I look and go, I just want to play this hand as a call. I'm just gonna do it when I give
Yeah.
myself some reason to.
Yeah, we should
So,
look at both. Like
So hijack here should go to about, I think it's like 24, maybe 25.
He's out of position.
Yeah.
No, 4-bets are smaller.
change it to 100 big blinds, Scotty.
I'm gonna.
4-bets are a little bit lower than 3x.
Be back in 2 seconds.
And I'm also
2.5.
gonna go to GTO. The 3-bet size is gonna go big again. The opening size 2.5 because he did 3 and I did 9. So let's get at least closer to that.
See, it's a little
20.
bit under 3x.
Funny, because you've got those aces and kings that don't mind getting called, and the ace king is
So
just
I was just
think
thinking
with
it's
this
a,
one,
it's a
so
smaller 3-bet size. It's a bigger 3-bet size.
that's about perfect, a little under 3x.
That's what I said. Like 20, yeah,
Yeah.
25. So I think you're supposed to call here,
Yeah,
But-
I think so too.
but exploitative fold is fine.
No, I think it's a fold. Oh, it is a call.
it's a
Yeah.
call.
Yeah, you call
Very
almost all your
close.
pairs when you do get in this position. You
Yeah.
call them. Interesting that tens fold though.
I think tens interfere with their 3-bet bluffing range. So you don't want to do that.
4-bet bluffing range.
Sorry, 4-bet bluffing range.
And let's see how that is.
Also, does everybody on this call know about the 10% of aces?
I remember you talking about it, Joey. Go ahead, repeat it.
Okay, go back to our range to cut off. Alright, the 10% of aces works on this premise that the hijack is not going to be 4-betting as often as they should. He's gonna miss his 4-bet bluffs.
Yeah.
So you look at the equity of aces. And as an exploit against somebody 3-betting or 4-betting too tight, any hand that has less value than 10% of what aces would have, you can exploitively fold.
And so
So
that's,
basically in this thing, anything that's under 4.7 equity, we could fold as an exploit.
EV, you mean, right?
Yes.
and eights are so far off that.
I mean, that's if you think that the player is, if he's a good player and is four betting 10, 11, 12%, yeah, then you gotta get the whole range in.
Yeah,
But if his four bets are closer to 5%,
because you'll notice that for, let's see, here's him. He's gotta include these four bets. For me to,
Yeah, those plus king 10 suited.
yeah, and enough of this.
No, yeah, population doesn't do that.
Yeah, if he's here, where I'm flipping with ace king and ace queen and king queen, and everything else I'm mega dominated, then this is a fine fold.
All right, a couple more.
Yeah, C5 flops, Larry.
Okay, 5 flop roll.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
this is
five
good.
flops.
King should take it. Yeah, so you should go to 9. You put in a little bit of a premium discount.
Yeah.
Sense. Aces should raise. Ace 8 is better as a 3-bet. It's a good 3-bet here on button. I would 3-bet this, I think.
He does, and he uses the smaller size, and he's also short stacked there.
No, he's a short stack. That's
Yeah.
the
right.
smaller size might work with the shorter stack.
Yeah. Yep.
Cause in MTTs, when you're that short, you don't 3-bet as large either.
I got to tell you, if I was a villain 96 here, I would have jammed.
Just let's go.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's a fine play against this stack. Yeah, so at this point, I think this is,
100%.
so this is weird. I don't know how to, I think that you've got a good point. Our reverse implied odds are a lot less to worry about the Jack, which is kind of a bad kicker here in this situation. But I find these short stacks pretty linear in that 3-bet range. This guy's finding one though.
Right.
But I think I would fold this a lot actually in game if I was villain 96. Because I'm very focused on implied odds here, even though they're a lot less at this stack depth.
With a
Reverse implied odds rather.
with a HUD, I'm jamming. With a HUD that shows me, which I didn't have at the time, 46 and
Yeah, that's a good point.
That is
That's a good point. These HUD stats are ridiculous.
the 3-bet he took. Now, it's only 13 hands. But 46 and 100 are so extreme, you can believe.
You have a very good point.
But
This should fold around.
what the? Oh, it did fold. Good.
It should fold around to ace 10. You should raise it, and ace 8. I think gets to defend.
Ace 8 is a pure defend on the chart, and it is a 25% raise, 75% call. From the big button. Oh, sorry. Fold, fold. Button raise, big blind, ace 8. 25-75, could not be happier.
Yeah, this is where, what, can you go back to the GTA Wizard? I just want to compare numbers here.
Yes.
So, yeah, so the GTA Wizard charts have like 4 or 5% more 3-betting versus the poker coaching ranges here than it three bets about 4% more of his range.
Okay. Poker coaching has a 3 big blind open from the button. And this is a 2.5 big blind open. So that changes something.
Yeah.
Well, poker coaching is also done with that rake.
It depends on the charts you're looking at. I'm talking about the 6 max charts, which are with rate.
But again, those are 3 big blinds, not 2.5 big blinds, and GTO is a myth. There is no such thing as GTO. There are GTO strategies. They're not is GTO.
There was a Twitter debate about the definition of GTO, which I got sucked into.
Ugh.
Anyway, yeah, so I would defend it. I would just spot.
This might be an area where it increases my 3-bet numbers. Because I don't do much calling with these.
You're going to 3-bet this all the time.
I could
Yeah.
see that.
I
And so you're going to
3-bet
3-bet
50% of the time, 100%.
right, this whole region. Look at every hand in this region. Big blind versus button has raises.
Yeah, I probably don't hit the 9s much, but
But you're just going to fold the 9s, right?
yeah, the broadways I hit and all the 8s I hit.
Yeah.
So if you look at 6 max poker coaching, they lean to find their 3-bets more from the suited region. So like they're full like Jack 9, Jack 10, Jack 8.
Why are you not letting me? do this? Okay, got to hit a.
Dash 6 max.
Yeah, I tried it. It needs to be refreshed.
Okay.
Cash 6 max, 100 big blinds. We're in the big blind. The action is versus a raise from the button. Here's poker coaching.
Yeah, they have this big chunk right of these suited cards right in the middle.
Yeah, they don't want to call any of this stuff. They don't want to raise any of this
Wow.
in poker coaching.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Joey likes this.
That's rather counterintuitive, it seems, that range.
It's a whole lot easier to implement.
That's an easy range to implement. But
That's the point though, right? Like their charts, they try to make them implementable.
I don't think so. I don't think that they made a compromise on, because they have mixed frequencies. I mean, look at this King Jack. You'd never, if you were going, poker coaching made some implementable ranges long ago.
You're right, because they wouldn't have that sliver in there.
Yeah, yeah. This is it's just a different set of assumptions going into a GTO solver or a different set of restrictions or a different GTO solver.
Yeah, and I mean, the more that you use GTO Wiz, inherently you're going to notice more patterns, and that's just implementable by nature as you notice more. So
Yeah. Right. But this is quite, but this is quite different. And
oh, for sure.
And trying to think logically, I'd want to play more of the suited hands for just calling
I agree.
than the
100%.
offsuited hands.
Just realize equity so much more.
another hand that's not going to go well for me. All right. Larry, narrate my folly.
Sorry. And so gonna flatten flat, goes to you. Yeah, I think that you can bet with the ace of spades. I think you can take a shot here. Which you do. You get a call, obviously. You don't improve. I think you check a lot here. And we get here and you're doing check.
Yep. There he
I
is,
think you
check.
take your, well, you've got a good bluffing card, right? So but your line doesn't really shout flush draw. But with the ace of spades, even though it's a paired board, I'm quite tempted. And he has not shown much aggressiveness in this pot. I'm quite tempted to bluff here for $10.
All right, let me
I'm
argue
with you,
in
Larry.
favor of the
You
bluff.
got good
I love
blockers.
it.
Yeah,
I love my blockers for this bluff. I block the straight. I block the nut flush. I have,
yeah.
yes, I have theoretical showdown value, but I have no showdown. Let's
Are you
go.
barreling
gotta-
that turn ever?
Mimic your equity. Yeah, I like this. I like this bluff. Let's see if he finds the hero here.
He does,
Oh.
but at least
I
I,
thought your river bluff should actually be really big. Like I was thinking like 200, like B
Okay.
200.
just, this
So-
is pot because the rake taken out. So this is exactly pot. But I take your point that that pot isn't enough. Got to go 200.
So I was in a study stream yesterday, and the coach said that MDA has shown, mass data analysis has shown, in this line, a B150 can be more effective against population than a pot.
That's what he's getting next time.
And to answer the other question, I think that was asked, we barrel the turn. I think that 4 would be considered a brick possibly, and that you could barrel and it would be for a large size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in game I'm barreling at 100% pot sizing a lot on that turn.
So what
I'm not even sure about flop. I think this makes a good checking option on the flop too.
I was just gonna ask what is the check frequency on this flop for button?
I think you're going to check a lot, but I think you get to bet a little bit more when you have the ace of spades.
I would think
Yeah,
so.
but the better the ace, the more it's going to check.
You want to take a look at this one?
Yeah,
Sure.
my guess is
Yeah.
50-50-ish.
Let's
Can
take a
you
look.
do the run out real quick?
Yeah, let's go on this one.
All right, you guys move forward in life, and I will.
Okay,
put
I
this
will,
in.
I will take over talking just for a moment while we do this. Queen 5 fold, 4 6 fold, deuce 5 fold, ace 8 raise, 9 6
You got a
fold.
poster?
Nope, there's a poster. I didn't see that. So with the poster, same thing. Ace 8 goes to the ace 8. Ace 8 should raise the poster and get it there. There he goes. He raises 4. Good. That's a fine size out of position. Gets a call from the 9 6. This is feeling like this is our guy back.
Yeah, no doubt.
One hand, and I think it's our guy. This HUD is wrong now. This HUD is including stats from another person who came in as villain 88. No, so ignore this HUD. All right. The ace 8 having gone for it, good for you. There's nothing about this flop to like, except for the fact that, yeah. But he's gonna, he lets it go. 9 6. Check second pair and just, do a lot of check calling, but he's gonna bet it and take it. Thereby making the worst of his bad call, making the best of his bad call.
Mhm.
4's
All
here.
right, you ready?
Yep, we're ready.
All right, all right, so. This is our flop, check it 4. He's a good 4. We're pretty much an even split. No one really has a particular advantage against these massive ranges we have. Villain is checking. And that's not what we
Wait,
want.
what's our what do we do? What check our flop?
Sorry. I'm going back here. Yeah, so
61%. Okay.
yeah, so we mostly check. Joey's
And
right,
you
yeah,
get-
we don't bet
You
much
get
on
some
this.
big bet sizes.
But if you do bet, interestingly, you are polarized quite a bit.
Yeah,
Could you click on the filters tab
Sure.
quickly, please? Just want to see where these bets and where these bluffs are coming from. Okay. Okay, cool.
So top pair is very kicker driven.
And roll over the ace 10 suited that we have with the spade,
Okay,
Ace
let
10
me
off
just this real
suited.
quick.
We had off.
Yeah,
or
ace
ace
10
10
off.
off with the spade.
Yeah, we have spade club is what we have. Ace of spades, 10 of clubs.
Clear. Yeah, we don't bet much.
What's the other
We had
combo, I
spade
think?
club,
Yeah, we have
Yeah, ace spade 10 club.
spade club.
94% check.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't really bet that much. So we have slivers, so we're not gonna break the solver. So what size did you choose? You choose small size?
I chose 2 big blinds, I believe. Let me see.
So. Let me just look this real quick.
Yeah, I bet 2 big blinds, 2 into 5.5.
Okay, and then, so, 2. His eights, I think I'm mostly gonna call, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's not really gonna do any check raising. So he calls. Um, now the repeat 4 is where I think the most
Yep.
interesting question is, what do we do on the repeat 4?
4 of clubs.
Clubs?
He is, so this must be an equity shifting card for some reason.
Yeah, because he has.
He's got, well,
Yeah.
not that much, but he's got some dunks. He checks. What do we do now? So yeah, we're just checking.
Right?
So played well.
Checking that hand, but if we do bet, we start to polarize.
Yeah, should we look at the range a little bit? So these are our bets. Yeah, we're betting quite a bit here. So if we are betting, oops. Trips is pure. Quad slow play, boats mix. Overpairs are very linear depending on how much protection they need, I guess. What's our jack doing? Jacks are also very kicker dependent. What are our bluffs really quick? So we've got it all through the range. These mostly,
5, 6, 6, 7, 5, 7 all makes sense.
yeah,
Legitimate gut shots. 9, 10.
combo draw.
9,
Combo
10.
draw is betting a lot here.
Yeah.
Do we have like a polarized range here? Yeah, not really, interestingly. Very bottom of our, on this paired board, the very bottom of our range is not betting, but all these middling hands which have some kind of equity are betting a lot to make up for our pure bets here.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, this is because these are trash hands, sorry. That was a mistake. There we go.
That's polarized.
Okay, so that kind of is a quick look at that. Okay, so, but you play this perfectly,
Well-
you checked?
What our hand was supposed to check the turn?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now the question is, when this hand, which we have really good blockers for this card, which was the 9 of spades, so we have like
Yes.
double blockers to the nuts.
But it's
Do we fold
still
it?
too high up in range, I think, to.
Yeah, you might be right. How much is he blocking with his now third pair on a paired board? How much is he blocking? Is he
Nope, not at all.
block betting?
He needs 9, 8 to block it.
Yeah, he's not block betting at all.
Not blocking betting ace, any 8, any just 8.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah,
something
it's-
9.
it- Yeah, you're right. So he checks correctly.
Is that just because you're folding all of the eights versus a raise?
Look at it.
We can
Look at the
check.
bluff.
Boom, he found it.
Found it, but not, and the sizing is, what are this, it's got an
Over bets.
It's got an
It does
overbet
both.
size and
It does both.
a 60. Right?
Yeah, so you can
Got a
do
60
either.
bet
I
off
think,
nothing.
yeah.
And which overbet
from-
is this? Is it the 300 or the 132?
This is a 132. So the purple is a 132.
Okay.
But you have you can't quite discern these two colors, right?
Nope.
No,
Okay,
I
I don't-
can.
I like to use the PO solver color scheme when I use
So do I.
PQs personally.
That's what I have my GTO wizard set up to, Pio Salver.
Oh, just so ingrained in my brain, right? For so many years of
Sure.
studying.
But if you look at it, the 132 is the 5.5 is the most common size here. The 132 is done, and the 275 is just non-existent for this hand. Okay,
Yeah, but you found you found a P75, right?
I found a pot.
Oh, yeah, okay,
This
so
is just not
I
offering.
think you play this well.
Hmm.
Now, the question is, what is he supposed to hero with his holding? So we'll start with, the overbet.
Just, I know I find that hero a lot of the time when that turn c-bet is missed.
Mhm.
Yeah, agreed. Um,
One of the few heroes I'll find.
He folds the ace eight, but calls the queen eight and the 10-8 because of blockers.
yeah, blocking the
Well,
straight.
ace eight looks like it's indifferent because it has a tiny sliver.
Yeah, ace eight
Okay.
off.
And then he bluffs the ace eight as long as he has the ace of spades.
And
So
he bluffs with the ace of spades.
Yeah.
He bluffs what you're bluffing with, so that's not gonna happen.
Right.
So, well, in theory, man.
But now if I go 5.5, do all the eights call?
Interesting.
Now ace eight comes in and calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now queen eight folds.
I think it comes
That's-
down to what you're repping, right?
That's funny.
You're repping the nutted hand with the overbet.
Yeah, I'm repping the straight. So you need to,
So, and these are blockers. These are unblocking bluffs? Is that why these like to call? I'm not sure. Okay, so
Yeah.
anything else you guys want to see?
yeah, I'd like to see him fold instead.
We'll go back in time on that one.
All right,
All right, handing it back to the alpha.
we go. There we are. So this was the hand that we just went through.
So you played that well. You played it aggressively. You played it fine.
Hooray.
All right, last one for me.
Keep going.
All right. So, I would open the fours here. It's a little bit loose, arguably. I want 3-bet frequencies
I
behind.
have an argument for folding it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Look at the big blind stack.
Ah, that is a very good argument.
Yeah.
That's a really good argument.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And we know that, and if he's that guy,
If effective stack is 100 though, it's fine to open, I'm sure.
Yeah, it mixes if it's
and it's fine
100.
to fold. Yep, it's fine to open.
But I
Well,
think
this-
because it mixes, when you see something like a stack like that where you're not going, you can only win 33 if you hit a set.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
That eats into its expected value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1000%. 1000%.
So this is a super wide. This is a mistake, and big blind should fold, but we don't know it.
What is the big blind gonna do?
He is
Three
going
bet.
to squeeze.
Jam.
Now he's gonna call.
He's gonna call.
All right, so you're in a pickle. We're in a pickle, multi-way with fours. Ouch. So,
I like a check on this flop personally. It's fun. Paired board, paired tens. You can probably bet small, multi-way with this exact combo. I think I'm pushed more towards checking.
let me throw this argument at you guys and get shot down. So I think theory is that we're often checking. I don't know anything about board textures and multi-way pots, but I think in theory, we're often checking here as the RFIR. However, I wonder if there's an argument to be made that this flop misses. The two misses ranges, right? People don't have, there's occasional suited twos in the big blind. And then it's paired on a 10.
Yep.
So
Big
it's
blind
almost
has-
like it feels like it's a 10 or nothing. So I wonder if we do get to put in what we think is a no equity c-bet here, multi-way. Someone tell me no. Joey, I want that no.
I'm sure it's a mix. Might be a low frequency.
No, I think if we run this in a three-way solver, it'll be 100% check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's what I was looking for.
Right, but,
Okay.
So,
but you were thinking, but Larry wasn't thinking about solver land.
yeah, I was thinking, I'm just throwing out
And
a pot.
plus, the value of our hand that there's no reason to turn pocket fours into a bluff right now.
Yeah, I
No.
think that's a valid argument.
It's not.
Is there no
strong-
argument for betting for protection, like C betting for protection to some degree?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Not as much in multi-way pots though.
Yeah, multi-way,
Okay, that makes
you're
sense.
right about multi-way
You-
pots. The one argument I'm making is that the texture allows us to exploitatively bet here. Now, I could be, and I bring these ideas to the group because I'm curious what other people think. Before this is not something I generally am going to do in game, but I'm just curious if this texture, which misses a lot of flops, misses a lot of combos, allows us to bet. But arguably
I'm
no.
C betting these paired boards more often. Single raise pot, I do find the check a lot more, but I would find a C bet here at
I
some
would find
frequency.
it too,
You
because I
gotta-
agree, there's a
Are
lot of
you-
folds.
Are you betting for value or for as a bluff?
Value and protection.
Protection.
I would say
How many
I'm
worse hands-
valuing for equity denial.
How many?
Yeah.
All right, you're adding in the two reasons to bet are for value or for as a bluff.
Agreed.
All those things are just extra things you add on to the end of the wording. If you're betting
Okay,
for
a bluff.
value, if you're betting for value, how many worse hands call you?
Theoretically, a lot of like ace high should call, shouldn't they?
Yeah,
Wait, three-way?
or no, not three-way, not, yeah, I take that back. Well, I saw the tens, yeah, aces should call here, but not three ways.
Okay. That makes sense.
How many better hands actually fold?
Yeah, I mean, almost none. So like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I see your point. I see your point.
Your,
This is
your
just
mic is really low. I heard you talking, but I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Oh no, because I was talking through the other side.
No,
Can
you
you hear
make
me now?
some fair arguments, Joey.
yeah, you got a good argument. I'm just throwing this idea out here that this is the kind of
These
this is
multi-way
the kind of
spots are
flop
less
that misses
studied for me
people.
too.
The cutoff should bet here.
Should or shouldn't?
Should.
Now,
Now, what's the
the-
argument for that? He's got backdoor equity?
He's in position and he can. The person with the most bluffs in a multi-way pot, person who's last to act.
That's a very good insight. I can see it. I never thought of it that way, but you're right.
Yeah. Now, Joey, can we bet more with nines and eights, and then do some checking more with fours because we get
Oh,
worse calls?
No, I think, I'm sorry, you asked Joey.
I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure where that dividing line is gonna fall.
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite. I think that we would be, if we're gonna bet pairs lower than the tens, we're gonna go reverse
Wait.
linear.
You gotta think, what would you wanna do with aces? If you had aces and,
I check a lot with aces.
right, I would check too with aces.
Yeah.
I
I
think
would-
we're okay just checking range on the flop there.
Okay, I could buy that. I was
You
throwing an
don't-
idea
You
out
don't
there.
need protection with aces though either. There's a really good section in the newer masterclass, cash masterclass, that goes over some multi-way situations. And this kind of situation is what they're talking about. And that is continuing seed betting flops that would be good for you, that, and like, it's hard to explain, but let's say this flop was 2-5-10 and you had ace five. And this is kind of similar because it kind of falls into this category of having a good but very vulnerable hand and betting for value and getting, you're going to get protection from a lot of these folds, like things like king jack, or well, king jack wouldn't fold here, but ace eight, or a lot of these ace x hands or king x hands that call. But there is a good section on this.
Yeah.
This seems like this falls into that sort of
I've
situation.
seen that. I don't remember him betting second pairs for protection. Or
Yeah,
under
yeah.
pairs for protection.
I think ace five on 10-5 deuce is a pretty clear check, where I'd be more inclined to bet these fours.
It
In
was
fact,
very unintuitive. They were second pairs. They were not top pairs.
Well, there are specific boards where we are allowed to bet in the middle too. And those boards are either ace, king X or king XX. So if it was like king 8-3 and we had ace 8, I would say yes, that's possible we could bet it there because that is a king high board is a board that is usually better for us as the raiser than the imposition caller.
Yeah, I'm just like curious to see like how this paired board would change if it were like another like lower like 6-6 deuce or 7-7 deuce. How that
mean-
would change our betting frequency.
Like before, when
I think that
sixes was
increases.
still when sixes was still running Tuesdays, we have asked them several times to go into the three-way solver, and we would have needed Toe to do that because he's the one that has the three-way solver, but he just didn't do enough in this node. So I'm just talking on what I have seen with the few solves that I haven't seen a ton of solves.
Yeah. And the multi-way solves that I've seen were all tournaments.
And it's so situational dependent too. Like how often are you going to see that spot in game? It's going to be very, very rare.
Yep. I'm filled with rage and
All right,
hate.
so nobody's bet yet.
Nope.
Just
Yeah,
toss it in.
and that's why we bet the flop to get that
For the
king
turn.
5 to fold.
For the turn.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just filled with rage and hate at this moment.
Yeah, but you're more resulting it.
Yeah, I know.
You might have gotten him to fold the flop and won the pot.
Yep.
But
Like I understand why you took that line. It's totally
when you really
reasonable.
look at it, you
Yeah.
don't have value or a bluff with this hand.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's so
marginally
in the
made.
middle.
Yeah, it's marginally made multi-way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now that makes
No, you
sense.
had, on the flop, you have value.
I'm 2 cents up on the
You would love for queen 8 to fold. You would love for queen 7 to fold. You would love for king
But
5 to fold.
that-
You would love.
Mike, that's not how you represent value. The equation is how many hands call you if you bet.
I mean, I know I see what you mean, Joey, but like for
It's
me,
just such a hit or miss flop that, and you have such a weak hand. I don't know. I feel like I'm taking a stab there. The minute I get a call, that's it. I'm shutting it down. It's
yeah,
over.
exactly. Yeah,
No,
like
I-
I
But that's
was.
the only shot I think I have to take that pot down. And
I
that
think
boat.
you might be
I like that.
underestimating the value of pocket fours on a paired board like this.
Maybe. That's why I'm here to learn.
I
But
think
that's my
pocket fours still
take on
has,
it.
What
pocket
size are you
fours
betting
still
on?
has, it doesn't have enough value to value bet, but I think it has too much value to turn into a bluff.
Yeah, I see what you're saying because like there's
That's
2
logical.
tens on the board and there's less of a chance of somebody having a 10. But I mean, I guess you could bet more heads up and less multi-way.
Just I know I see bet a ton of paired flops and like you take it down so often with all kinds of bullshit combos. So
Oh yeah, heads up is different.
So, Anna,
absolutely.
when you bet the flop on the deuce 10-10 to, because your fours are often best, but they're not going to stay best. What size in this situation, the two players, and also keeping in mind that 88 has $31. So what's your size?
What was the pot at the time? Go back
Eight
to that.
$8, same as it was on the turn.
Oh, that's right. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
I mean, you just bet for a small size.
Small.
3.
I mean, I'm betting small. So if it's $8, I'm probably betting 3. I mean, I don't think it takes
Yep.
that much.
That's
I
my
li-
answer. 3.
I like it.
2. I'd go 2.
Yeah, but small, something small.
Because on a paired board,
2.8.
when you do bet on this paired board, you can even go smaller.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I make a delay turn seat bet, I'm going to size up generally.
All right. Who's up? Who wants to
Okay,
predict?
now who are you going to define now as your short stack fish that you want to target?
with the two of them. It's, this guy is new and he posted, so he's extra. So he's extra fishy.
Yeah, I attack the posts pretty aggressively.
The poster you meaning the short stack or no?
Poster.
The post.
The one
No,
who
somebody who was impatient and they couldn't wait for the big blind to
Yeah.
get to them.
So okay, so like that person wants to like gamble kind of thing.
Yep.
High VPIP.
That's what we expect.
Okay. Anybody want to go or should I go?
You're up, Skate.
Go ahead, Skate.
All right. It should fold the. Well, okay, so it's posting. Okay. Button should fold. It should fold around to. Yeah, I think it should fold around.
No, cutoff should open.
Yeah, cut off. This is a good raise, Skate.
The post.
He
Yeah, the.
posting, but Jack 10 is a perfectly good raise there. So
So like, what happens when you post? How does it work?
you get to do
You
that.
can still raise.
Okay, you can raise. So you're like, okay. Yeah. With that being said, yeah, offsuit tens are part of the cutoff, so you could definitely open if you like.
Good. I think it's mandatory in the cutoff and optional, the offsuit 10 and optional in the hijack, but good. He does it.
Yeah.
What should happen now?
Yeah, it should fold all the way.
Here we go.
Okay, here it should fold around to the blinds, and the blind should small blind should it should raise, and then king 10. I think it's gonna just mostly defend.
I agree.
Now,
That's what
How
should
should-
happen, but our friend is back.
Oh, good God, this guy, man.
It's that guy, and it's that guy. Telling you it's that guy.
No doubt.
so now the small blind should fold.
Yes.
I mean, versus certain opponents, I'll raise their limp with this combo, but that's going to be very opponent dependent.
Out
Yeah.
of position in the cash game.
Yeah, if they're a weak limping fish who likes to limp fold, I'll find it. Generally, I think it's fine as a fold, though.
But we can all
You're gonna-
agree that this is the worst play, right? Of the
Oh,
choice.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Just want to make sure I did the worst thing.
Oh, that was you. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that was you.
I keep
I'm-
forgetting. Don't take it personally.
No, don't worry about it. I didn't I start the session by saying we're here to learn how other people play, not to find out how badly I play, because that we already know.
This
Oh,
maybe is when we take a moment for a shout out to Scotty, who puts his play on display so we can all learn cards up.
Thank you very much.
learn
we
what
appreciate
not to
it.
do. This is one of the worst sessions. Here we go. Okay, so having done that, King 10 squeeze.
So, Scotty.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you might not want to answer this on the YouTube, but are you under the influence of an edible here, possibly?
I'm not. I don't play drunk or stoned. I'm also almost never get drunk or stoned. But the more important thing is I do play badly though. I watch this and you all know that I know better, right? You've heard me say smart things. You just haven't seen
Yeah.
me do smart things.
I have heard you say very smart things.
I know. What is happening? All right, but anyway, this is what happened. And
Do you
so
multi-table, by the way? Just curious.
no excuses.
No, but I'm asking, are there multiple tables happening at the same time here? Or?
Yeah, because that affects my play pretty heavily, depending on how many tables I have going. It shouldn't, but it does.
No, I have no excuse except this. This villain 95, I believe that in game, I knew who he was. And by who he was, I don't mean I knew him from the previous game. That I believe that the guy coming back with 30 each time and playing like this was the same guy. Okay? So I want to be in pots with him. This is the
Yeah,
wrong,
dude, I think that's reasonable.
Why?
that's reasonable, but this is the wrong way to do it.
Sure,
Why
sure.
are you going out of your way to play pots with him?
Because you're gonna win way more than you should against a fish.
He only has $30 on the table. His largest mistake could not be for anything more than 30 bucks.
Right, but isn't that worth going for? I mean, given his bad play, I'm not saying I'm doing it right, but even at
wouldn't
30
go-
bucks,
I wouldn't go out of my way to play with a broken stack.
I hear what you're saying. That does cut out a lot of my
I mean, if
reverse implied odds holdings.
he
Um,
was 100 big blinds, that's different because then you're targeting a full stack.
gotcha. I had
Because
thought about what you just said. This is the
You
I
first
gotta
think
time
you
I
should
thought,
still go after him. Your strategy is just going to be different.
you gotta think more in terms of when you're targeting somebody, it's because they make a big equity mistake. And with somebody with a broken stack, their equity errors are not as large just because they don't have the opportunity to make the really large equity errors that you're looking for.
right,
Right, exactly. And the point is you want to play hands that have good post-flop playability, not reverse implied odds here when you hit top pair. You know, for example, king 9 suited and plus.
sure.
Yeah.
And
But whatever.
and
As
even
played.
so, I shouldn't be playing pots out of position against him, and I shouldn't be playing, what I've essentially turned this game into is I've turned it into blackjack. I've turned it in, I'm subject to the cards, nothing else. And this is the worst of the ways of doing it.
But still, we want a 3-better fold strategy from the small blind, right? Like
Post,
always.
yeah, except not necessarily against
No,
or a post. That's different.
no, like if we had like ace 3 suited, that's perfectly fine to just call.
Yeah.
And see a flop. Pocket 4s, perfectly fine to just call and see a flop.
Is it in
If
this
you were going to play
instance?
this
Slide off
hand,
hand.
Skate, this
Oh,
king
we
8
can stack
off
them.
hand is a 3-better
This
fold hand. You
This is
don't
again
want to
the
call.
3-better fold, absolutely. Right. In my defense, this was way back in July before I had started studying with you guys. So I can
Okay.
blame this on Louis.
Oh, okay.
Makes
All right.
sense.
And then this happens. It's on you, Skate.
Yeah, I'm gonna, as played, I'm gonna check here and realize. Middle pair, there's no reason. I mean, I can see merit for,
Wait,
the
betting.
one
So you're saying there's no reason to do this, and I'm agreeing with you. There's no reason to do this.
no.
Yeah, no
This
reason.
should really probably check around.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's a limp pot that the big blind can get out of line like he is now.
Yeah.
As opposed to a raised pot.
Scotty, I'm really questioning if this is you.
Oh, who else could it be? How else did you get
Okay, you have another chance to redeem yourself here.
by folding? By
Yes, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping happens.
Yeah, he's gonna. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, clearly I know better. Moving on.
I mean,
And
I think once you're there facing that call, holding the king of diamonds, I don't think calling the 3 is the worst.
oh,
But I mean, ideally you would have taken a different line earlier, But
but
I don't think it's
notice how bad this
worst.
notice the 8-7 problem. This is the idea that I'm thinking of going with this kind of play. Don't I want to be in these hands? But Joey's point of what and win 20 and
Yeah, that's fair.
26. Why are you doing this? And then this is just atrocious.
To be fair, it's not as bad as I've been in 95 play, but whatever.
That's true. Only 95's play was
Oh, I do want to mention
Yeah.
in multi-way pots, we do not play backdoor draws.
Okay.
All we have here is second pair on a board where we bet, got raised, and the raise got cold called.
Absolutely. They could still have the ace high draw, ace X of diamonds, etc.
But I'm sitting there hoping that I hit my king.
Jack 10 should fold here.
Yes, you need
Yeah.
king 10, ace 10 are the kind of premium chance.
Yeah.
I need to get less sticky multi-way, I think.
Yeah, even top pair is a little shook.
Learn from
Yeah,
my mistakes.
Jonathan, in the advanced cash game multi-way section that Jonathan did, he says one of your things in multi-way pots is to get out early.
Yeah, that
Okay.
stuck with me as well. He used it
Don't
to
ha-
exit early and it really stuck.
Don't hang on to these like medium hands. Just let
Yeah.
them go, let them fight it out. Because if you're ahead, you might be right some of the time. You're not going to make much more money.
Yeah.
But when
Like, I
you're
mean, if
wrong,
hijack is C betting, oh, sorry, interrupted you.
but when you're wrong, you could lose 2 more bets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, in
and
multi-way, I'm folding those middling pairs versus a C bet from the RFI player all day long. So
having this hand face up really shows the thing that this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. But look at it right here. I hit my king, I'm dead. I only have
Yeah.
1-8 to hit that I'm not dead on, and even that, has ways of turning in, has ways of turning into a chop pot.
Mhm.
It's just a nightmare.
that'll make sense.
Right.
Yay. We can
Finally,
move on.
finally something. All right, Skate. Let me do me proud on this one. At least let me fold this one. All right. What should
Alright, yeah. Yeah, it should fold. Yeah, it should fold around to the blinds.
hold around the blinds?
And
What should 10-8 do in the small blind?
I think it could mostly raise, especially against passive big blind.
Yep.
I could see
You want a quick way of memorizing the range for the small blind?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know what a 40 big blind MTT range is for the button?
Not by heart. I have it there, but
Oh, it's pretty much all suited 8s and suited 5s. If you're
suited 8s and suited 5s and
if
big
you're-
blind.
If you're in a small blind, you could raise what is almost a button MTT 40 big blind range.
Okay. So this falls in that
So anybody
category.
who plays MTTs too should
Yeah.
be able to just put that range together real quick in their mind and always play small blind better.
Yeah. And I'm folding the queen-8 and the jack-8 here and raising the 10-8 and the 9-8.
Yeah, what's funny too, I don't play tournaments, so I don't know any of the tournament charts, but small blind raising ranges is actually pretty similar to a button raising range. There's
Yeah.
just a couple of tiny differences, and it's actually fairly similar.
Yeah. And Mike, if you find yourself in a tournament and you don't know the ranges, if you find yourself on the button with 40 big I'm sorry, where was it? In the button with 40 big blinds, just
Yep.
use your small blind raising range from cash. They're pretty close.
Now, what is bottom of RFI range for button in the spot? What's the weakest offsuit king that button opens there?
Oh, go.
I know.
It
Here
was
we go.
king 4 off. Is it what? King 6 plus?
Oh,
King 7.
all right. Let's see. 9.
Okay.
Probably have king 8
Yeah,
off,
something like
but
king
not.
7.
King 7 mixes king 8.
Yeah,
Maybe king 6.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. Not king 6.
Yeah,
Okay,
king 7 is kind of your threshold. There's mixing there, and then king 8 is almost full, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
And king 6 is if the blinds are tight.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Sweet.
guess.
And this guy does the limp instead.
I don't think we should limp this hand.
I agree.
It should be
I
fold or raise.
think GTO Wizard might have some limping with it.
Yeah,
No.
GTO Wizard will limp almost every hand combination at some frequency.
I would assume it's gonna start limping like more the suited variety that you want to play post flop, but this hand I don't see that.
I mean, as a tournament player, I limp in here, but we learned earlier that
Right.
it's not as much of a thing already. But for
I
what it's
mean-
worth,
I don't like the limp it, but it is in there as a limp.
Yeah, you can see almost every hand limps at some frequency, but like most of us on this call pretty much go raise or fold.
yeah. At the same time, though, every combo is still majority raise. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Except for this, the king 7, ace deuce, jack deuce,
Well,
and 5. Those are the ones.
you shouldn't. I don't necessarily play raise or fold versus every big blind.
Okay,
It depends on who the big blind is.
Yeah.
sure. Makes sense.
But the fact that this guy did limp makes my call in the previous hand even worse of his raise.
Yeah. So Joey, how do you look at this?
That makes sense.
I imagine that if the big blind is going to be more passive and overfold in the flop, you could kind of widen your range a little bit, and if they're going to play back at you, then you have to kind of raise more linearly.
Well, the first thing you look at is their three bets. If they're going to three bet you often, you don't want to expand your range.
Yeah.
If they're going to three bet you a lot, maybe you want to keep some of the weaker hands in a limp. This way, when they raise to 4, and you're only paying 4 to see a flop if you're going to see a flop. If they're going to three bet you, or if they're going to raise limps a lot, then you might want to have some aces, kings, queens, ace, king limping at some frequency to come back over the top.
Hmm.
Okay.
In general, most average big blinds, I'm just going to raise or fold. But there are some situations where I might consider a limp range might be better versus this particular person.
Gotcha.
Some of them might be where if you do have players that, like, if they limp behind, they just check their option, where you can just bet the flop and take it away from them 60-70% of the time. In that case, if they're just going to check their option, you don't have to raise that much either. If they're going to play so honest after the flop.
So with this,
Okay.
Skate, you're now, we don't love the limp here, and we haven't seen anything from this big blind to say that limping this 10-8 is a good idea. But as played, now that you're the Jack-8 suited facing this limp, you can't see his cards. I'm covering his cards with my hands. What do you want to do with Jack-8 suited here?
Hey, yeah, like I'm assuming that the limp, just by default, the limp range is going to be not strong, because if I was, I guess, a good player or aggressive, that they would be limp trapping a lot of their stuff, but I'm not. So that's going to lead me to believe that their limps are going to be fairly weak. So I could go ahead and I could possibly raise this combo, especially suited.
Every
I-
word. Let's see what he does. That is my
But-
exact thinking.
Yes,
And he does.
he does.
Is this 100% raise for you? Because I'm mixing majority raise, but it's still some, we'll still have some checks.
For me,
Um,
until this guy shows that his limping range is robust and well balanced, this is just a raise.
yeah.
I think I mixed this in the middle because I
Okay.
want to raise my top and bottom. And
Yep.
this just seems to be so middle.
That's exactly my thinking, right? But makes sense.
You want to do that because you want to be.
We
polar.
haven't.
Wanna
We
be-
do have a tool that can tell us what the solver reaction would be with this hand.
Yes, the solver, we can see it because there's a limping range in GTO Wizard. So let's take a
Right.
look. Quick, I'll take a look at it right now. All right, because we don't need the whole hand for it. We just go like this, and we give the small blind a call. And we drop here into the big blind, and Jack-8 suited.
Yeah.
He doesn't
right,
like it.
right under.
Wants to be more polarized. But
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
this
And
polarization,
again, versus a player who you know to be very good, like solver good. Yes,
Yeah.
that's great. I think I would probably raise this a lot more than that solver shows.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now I
would too.
like this more as a call. It's just in the middle.
and my thought is here that the reason that you raise your best and your worst, the reason you are polarized is to make yourself hard to play against for good players. Your
Yeah.
worst hands are protected by your best hands.
Yep.
Here, I think you can be somewhere between, I think you can be linear with your raises here and raise your best and you're also pretty goods and then take a free flop with your crap. I think that's also a viable exploitative strategy against bad limping ranges.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Like hands like 6-7, 5-6 is probably going to be more of a just a call rather than raise here because I don't find those 10 deuces, jack 10 forwards as much as solver does. So
yeah, because it's
I tend to be pretty polarized with it. I'll raise a lot of junk, like a lot of 5 deuce, 5-3 offsuit in that spot too to polarize.
I mean,
Which makes more sense for like a jack 8 suited to function as a call.
yeah.
yeah.
All right, here we go. As played with that raise, and the raise size is also bigger than what GTO suggests.
No, it isn't.
Is
Uh,
it?
yeah, against a call, big blind is a 3. Oh, it's got 3s and 5s. You're right.
It's got both.
Right. I never done the
Yeah.
5. Yeah, so the 4 is right there in the middle. It's great.
I don't mind it.
As played,
10-8 should
10-8.
fold. Is
4 is
I'm
the sizing I
surprised
use in
10-8
game, blind
folded.
versus blind.
Quick question. In this scenario, we're talking about the small blind limping, but I see a lot where the big blind, I mean, the button will also limp. So would we use a similar response?
I kind of do.
But
Maybe
we
tighten
want to
up
be
a little bit.
we want to be a little tighter because we're against the button now.
And out of position.
We're out of position.
yeah, and they're going to be
Um,
over calling, I assume.
Before the solver, I'll be honest, I used to, whenever somebody limped into my big blind, I had 100% raising range.
Mhm.
And sometimes I play live and wouldn't even look at my cards and just raise.
Yep.
Because that was my strategy.
Which
And
honestly isn't the worst. So many people have a hard time playing against a strategy like that. So
I'm arguing that's almost what I was arguing for with the Jack 8, which is just I was arguing that his weak limping range shall be attacked by with any excuse and at any means necessary.
But then after playing with these people at the table for a while, then I realized that after I do it 2, maybe 3 times, they start adjusting their limping range.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And did I necessarily want them to adjust?
Right.
Or did
No.
I want them to keep limping in with all kinds of junk?
Yeah.
And I'll raise with top and bottom, and the middle should still be vibrant against their limping range.
yeah, and that's kind of why I cut out my 100% raising frequency from the big blind for that exact reason. That's why I elect more for the high-low card combos for the bluffing end of that.
Gotcha. All right, so moving on. Now I haven't rebought yet, and I think that given my play, I don't deserve to rebuy, and I should have to play the next hand with only $94 instead of 100. But my bad
No,
is rewarded.
Is there any particular reason you don't play with auto top up?
Yeah, it doesn't exist on Ignition.
Oh, okay.
You have
That
to
answers it.
you have to bother to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to manually do it, and sometimes you get caught, especially multi-tabling. It's like you lose a hand and you forgot to hit the button before you hit fold. It's
Yeah.
such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And sometimes Ignition, if you time it wrong, it loses it. And not only can you not top up, but you can't top up. It doesn't allow you to rebuy again because
Oh,
it's
great.
through the rebuy because the software is not up to snuff at all times.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah. I think you
walk
need
us
to program.
through it, Skate. Let's have this one end well. No clubs,
interesting hand.
no clubs, no spades on the
Yeah, it should fold around to 7-8. 7-8 could probably mix here. Yeah, it can mix in the hijack, maybe 50-50. Is it going to? I'm not sure. I imagine limp. Aces should definitely raise that limp. You know, 4x, 5x, 4x. And it should fold around to ace five, which does not have the stack depth to defend. So yeah, if anything, it's gonna ace is gonna take it down, or it's gonna be ace heads up with 7-8 suited.
Good point.
Alright, go slow.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The 7-8 suited here, is actually in, oh, sorry.
If the 7-8 folds. I wanna see if the 7-8 folds first.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on the things Skate said, I agree with you. I was gonna make one correction. The 7-8 there, is more of, like, not at, 25%. It's more around 12% of the raise, but
Yeah.
close. And,
It's a
but
very
with his
small
short
percent.
stack, with the fact that his stack is only $31, he should fold 7-8 there.
Oh, you're right.
He
Yeah,
shouldn't have a $31 stack, but at 30 big blinds, at 30 big blinds, I'm assuming in a tournament, there's not a lot of 7-8 suited. In the
yeah,
high.
you're right.
That's my guess. Okay,
Yeah,
now let's see what he does. I think Skate's right. I think he's gonna limp the 7-8.
yeah.
Oh no!
Oh,
Holy shit. What's that sizing too?
Hooray!
oh,
Hooray!
Wow.
Hooray!
Scotty,
Hooray!
salivating.
Now, can we call? Who's gonna call aces here?
I think it's very tempting to call, but I don't think we do because we
I
don't want
raise.
to be multi-way.
Yep. Let
Right.
4 people in the hand on,
I go to
ugh.
about 12.
Yeah,
Same.
sounds about right.
I'd go
I'm
to
gonna
two.
argue
I'd,
against
I'd
it.
min click or 12. Yeah, I agree.
I'm 100% on Skate because of his pot, because of his size. The min click gives us an SPR of 1.25. That's all in easy. If he gets anything,
I like a min click.
Well.
the exploitative crazy min click.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
actually
that's
more
good.
than a min click.
That's a min click.
That's a
Oh,
min click.
that's right. It's not 1-2, it's 0-5.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a min click. He just can't fold. And I mean, yes, maybe I get a couple dollars more in pre-flop another way, but boy, do I not want him to fold. In the ace five, he comes along at 9x.
Better shove.
That's insane. If I'm sitting 100 effective with ace 5, I have a lot of ISOs there.
But at
Not this shallow,
no, this is,
and certainly not a call.
Yeah, but you're not worried.
You cold, are you trying to say you cold 4-bet ace-5 suited?
Yeah, a lot.
No way.
No, not in cash.
Well, that's
It
what
might-
that's
alright,
why I'm adjusting.
I will take that back. It might have a sliver.
Okay.
but
I have a hard
think-
time not re-raising with ace 5 suited, to be honest.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know,
I
but
think-
it doesn't do it as
It-
much as cold.
Yeah,
Okay.
the ace five
Yeah, so
suited
that's the
is
difference.
one of
What's-
those hands that you're gonna see a lot on solvers.
oh,
See, yeah,
Oh, it
you
is
can
in
see
there.
it.
Oh, yeah.
we're wrong.
Well, that's largely why I've implemented it, because it's always in there in these solver lines.
Yeah.
We gotta respect the magic solver hand.
I thought as a cold 4-bet, I didn't think it was in there that much.
No,
Yeah,
Ace
but
5 suited is the new ace ace.
it
Yeah,
is.
but it's
Look at
zero. It's mixing folds. I
Oh,
would
no,
imagine.
I love ace-5 suited. I've 4-bet with it before.
But you
But-
4-bet in the hijack. It goes bet, raise, fold, fold, fold. You're back in the hijack. This is where you 4-bet, right,
Yeah,
Joey? But
Okay.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Look at that cold 4-betting goodness.
Yeah, I like it.
And the reason is because ace 5 blocks ace ace. You can't have ace ace if someone has ace.
Absolutely.
Can't,
Yep.
this can happen.
but he has 20 big blinds to start the hand. He shouldn't be in this hand with that hand.
No,
No.
that's a fold for him.
Yeah.
There's no value in that, right? Can
And
we,
it makes no sense to ISO at his stack depth either, so I agree.
can we at least say that this play with ace 5 suited was worse than my play with king 8 offsuit? Can we at least say that?
I
We
agree
will-
with
We
that.
will grant you that, Scotty.
Thank you. All right, no spades, no
Sure.
clubs on this flop.
Oh,
Interesting.
jeez.
Oh, gee. Oh, God, no.
You're actually you added.
I'm not even the
You're
favorite.
not even a favorite.
What a
I mean, if it checks to aces here, I think you just comfortably rip it. Like, look
Oh,
at
yeah.
their stack sizes. It's
Yeah, this should be a check shove for the sim.
yeah,
Yeah,
I saw this happening.
there. Right.
Yeah,
Just
shove,
Yeah,
shove,
just call. I
call,
mean,
fold.
I'm getting the right odds.
yeah.
Even if he turned over his hand.
This would be a lot more of a nightmare spot if it was 100 effective and not what 20 effective or whatever it is, 30.
Oh.
You played that masterfully.
Yeah, look at that.
We
Hmm.
definitely didn't have you down as playing this hand well.
Yeah.
Well,
Look at that.
if we go back,
Look at this though.
let's look at what bet sizing we should make. What
My-
what? Why are you he's folding ace five suited. He has nothing.
No, I didn't mean that. Look at how the odds change. My odds go down when he folds.
Really?
It gets worse.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you that. That's all. All right. You were saying, Joey.
All right, go back a couple nodes
All right.
before the villain shoved.
Right.
All right, you want to pretend he checked, right?
Imagine he checks. How much do you want to bet?
Pot.
I mean, you're just putting them all in at 22 big blinds.
Well, the first thing you would say is it's multi-way, so your bets are small, like $9. But given that $9 is pot committing for everybody, that goes out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
At a 1-to-1 stack, 1-to-1 SPR, just bet pot and be done with it.
No, I still say we go small.
Okay.
Yeah, I would use $5 there.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to
call a
I mean,
rejam?
We don't know how beautifully the RFR limped or came, but he's also he 5x'd the pre-flop. So I like keeping people in here. I'm gonna do 5.
I like
See,
that.
not
I like the
holding a
third.
spade, I kind of like denying equity by just ripping it here. Like you bet super small, like, 10, 12, 15% pot, 7-8 suited calls, spade comes in on the turn.
Well,
Like,
I
whatever,
see your
just
point. This is
deny
a
equity.
unique situation where
Alright.
this guy's gonna call with his combo
Well-
draw. But one way to look at that is like, if we just rip it, we're only getting. It's hard for them to call with a lot of
No,
that
it's
range.
not.
Gosh,
I
think-
I disagree.
I think you get a lot of calls.
100%.
I
They call
think
it any
people
bet.
misunderstand
You're up against
denying
two
it.
very strong ranges. You're going to get calls from all kinds of stuff.
All right,
Yeah,
I
A lot
can
of
see your
king
point.
X, a lot of draws.
I could see that, like more heads up. I could see maybe betting 7 and then continuing the hand, but multi-way, somebody might have a draw, especially without a spade. So
And
yeah, I could see the ripping. Yeah.
and you're talking about equity denial, and I think people misunderstand that because equity denial, you're talking about betting out a hand that has outs against you. But if you're looking for equity denial against a flush is not folding here.
No.
Or I mean a flush draw.
Yeah.
A straight draw is not folding here.
And there's no other hand that I need equity denial from.
Right.
It- Yeah,
Should
but-
the weakest
yeah,
flush
yeah.
draws not fold versus an all-in multi-way in this spot?
Nope, they're not folding.
Okay.
They called. They
Just
called.
priced in way too
Yeah,
much or what?
They,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they-
they called
yeah.
incorrect.
What's-
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the odds of him hitting his
Makes
flush?
sense.
1/3. What
And-
is he putting in? 1/3.
And
Yeah, okay.
actually, last week I read something, an article that you make more money with smooth betting by betting instead of one larger shove, 2 smaller bets make more money than one larger shove.
Yeah, was
Which-
Okay.
was that the blog from GTO Wizard?
Yes.
Yeah, I read that as well. It was a very good little blog there.
Does that
And-
apply here though with these two like broken less than one SPR stacks?
Yeah. I think if we set this up for 2E, that would be fine. And 2E is somewhere around $5 or $6.
And sorry, 2E is geometric sizing from the flop and 3E is geometric sizing from the turn?
Opposite.
No. 3E
Okay.
is geometric sizing from the flop when you're gonna have 3 streets of betting.
Okay.
The stacks
Oh, and
are
then
too
2, okay,
small-
makes
The
sense.
stacks are too small to think about 3 streets of betting, because 3E would be about $2.
Okay, yeah.
So there's no reason to really try to go 3E. That's just ridiculous.
No, I understand.
But I think 2E will make more money than a shove
No, of
in
course,
in the long run.
of course, in general,
Um,
but
probably.
since the SPR is so low, then we could go either way. I think.
No, I disagree. I think we should still. Like, I see this in a lot of solves in when I studied MTT a lot. That things where is like pot size, like, oh yeah, just shove. But then the solver's like, no, went 3. Oh
Right.
yeah, 1-to-1 SPR, just shove, get it in. And after being wrong time after time with that thinking, I've realized that the solver likes to massage the pot instead of just shove it in.
Well, because you're kind of putting your hand face up, right? When you shove, you're saying you have an overpair.
You're making it easier for them to get away from things that you make it easy for them to play perfectly.
It
Yeah, that
does
makes
Yeah,
make
that's
sense.
well
I
put.
would say I'd be pushed a lot more towards a small bet with the ace of spades, and I'd be pushed more towards a jam without the ace of spades.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is driven by wanting to avoid uncomfortable decisions if the flush comes in or the straight comes in.
Exactly.
But solver doesn't care about being uncomfortable, so that's why we're seeing solver playing this way. Which,
Fair.
you know, I put the blog that Joey and I are talking about in the chat.
Oh, cool.
And, you know, essentially it comes down to smooth betting and that relation to MDF and how someone has to commit more money to a pot if you're going to smooth bet, which is another way of saying bet geometrically.
Okay,
All
that
right.
makes sense.
Let's open that up. There we go. In this case, though, the issue of being uncomfortable, I can't be uncomfortable. If I did bet small and the flush comes in, I'm not uncomfortable.
I'm
We're at
calling.
an SPR. We're at an SPR of a half at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just call.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
implied odds here are just so obvious that, it's
Yeah.
a different.
Like I
spot.
said, if this was 100 effective, it would be a lot more of
Yes.
a tricky
Oh yeah.
spot.
If it was
Yeah.
100 effective, I'd probably fold.
Yeah.
Because villain 95 is still left to act.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you call with the ace of spades?
Yes.
I think that makes it scarier.
Oh, because
Because-
he doesn't have a draw?
H-
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
your point.
the most hands he would have on a flush draw would be with the ace of spades.
That's a very good point, Joe. I didn't
Yeah,
think
he'll
about
have
that.
some random set, some random 2-pair.
You want to unblock
Yeah.
his draws. Yeah, I see your point.
Yes.
This will be our last hand. Because we've got, right, it's 11:15 to 2:15. We've done 3 hours. We always end on a hand that I'm going to play. And so there's our thing. We're going to play
I
this.
thought we ended on a hand you're gonna win. Or is
No,
that gonna
no,
take too
no,
long? Is that gonna take too long today?
Hey, I won this one. Look at it. Look at it. I
man.
won it. I won it. Look at it.
You gotta give us another one.
I am going to. This is the one we're going to end
All
on.
right.
All right. It's on you still, Skate.
Sure. 10 jack could open here. It's gonna open. It should be folded around to ace 5. Ace 5 could probably defend, but it folds. Okay, we win.
All right, what did we learn we do with ace 5 here?
Against the hijack, ace 5 mostly folds. It's a bluff candidate. So the one thing you can't do is call with it. You can raise it and you can fold it. And it
What's
looks
the 3-bet frequency?
50%-ish.
For me,
Okay, sounds about right.
100%.
Only suited or offsuit as well.
Offsuit. No, we're talking about the offsuit.
Okay.
It's a pretty
I-
healthy mix for me.
Hijack raise, and there it
In
is.
lower stakes, like if I play live, I play 1-2. 1-3 now they have at Parks. Cause I was sick for a couple years and I actually had to use my whole bankroll for my medical bills. I'm rebuilding a bankroll. It's not very large yet.
Mhm.
But the players I play, I 3-bet relentlessly. This
Yep.
sliver, I'd be 100%.
Yeah, no, I respect that. I play in a
Because-
super, super small field with just Ontario players, so I'm playing like thousands of hands with the same people. So I try to replicate that as much as possible too.
Because what
Balance
happens,
is so amplified.
unless you're against good players, they don't respond well to 3-bets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most of them call too often which means when you see bet, they're gonna have too wide of a range to try to balance a response to, and are probably gonna overfold to your C bet.
Sure.
So it's instant profit by 3-bet, C bet.
Yep. Yep.
They call, they've got something. Because, so the times it doesn't work.
Yeah,
They're
when
not-
you're out of position, you can kind of play those spots sort of face up too and just
And-
shut down. And
And
Yeah.
even weak players tend to play more honest in a 3-bet pot.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, now if there was a low jack opening versus a hijack, how would that change your strategy on the big line?
Slightly
I
less
think
three
I-
bets, but not
Oh.
huge.
I think I still hit the ace-5 there.
Yeah.
Off.
It is a fold in,
I think it
in the
goes from
charts.
like ace-9. I'm not sure if ace-8 might do it, ace-7 and ace-6 fold, ace-9 I think would. Oh, ace-5's not in there, but I
Yeah.
would still hit it.
This is the Wizards version of it.
That makes sense.
It gets
I'm
very,
a lot more inclined to three bet the wheel aces sort of as a blocker bluff rather than the ace-9, ace-8 offsuit.
Yeah,
Right,
but
but-
like I said, from the low jack, you wanna fold them.
Yeah, that's okay.
Fine.
The offsuit,
Gotcha.
right? Okay.
I thought this was the one thing that had ace-10 and skipped all the way to a sliver at ace-5.
that's the hijack. 'Cause that ace-8, ace-9 is so small.
Well, now we see where my 14.5 3-bet
It's coming from.
frequency comes from.
So okay, I could take off the ace-9, ace-8 off and
Yeah.
put them into ace-5.
Yeah, I'm doing, and I am skipping the ace-5 here. I'm skipping all of these and I'm doing the ace-5 against the cutoff. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing 50% against the cutoff here. And the cutoff is 34. So I'm playing 50% of this and none of the ace-4. So the ace-4 is pushed in there. And I think so is the ace-8. Yeah, the ace-8 is in there
Okay.
also.
I like that
So
better. Yeah,
ace-
I
that-
can cut off.
But
Yeah, the
again,
suited wheel aces, I'm three betting at close to like 100% frequency. I'm just kind of seeing how much I can work in the offsuit wheel aces
Yeah.
into the same lines
Yeah.
and get away with it.
Well, the
very,
layering
very
kits,
different. They're very different.
like
Yeah,
against
yeah,
cutoff
yeah.
and button, I think they're all in there. Maybe ace-2 might not be.
Okay.
What did you say, Joey? You were looking for, did you say against button?
Yeah, against a button open.
Yeah.
I think all the aces are in there except for ace-2.
Oh, the offsuit ones?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this ace-3. I'm not doing the ace-3 or the ace-6 because I'm putting those into ace-4, ace-5.
You're folding ace deuce, ace three off.
I'm folding ace-deuce, ace-3, and ace-6. I'm mixing
Yep.
ace-5, half raise, half call. Ace-4, I'm doing half raise, half fold. Ace-7,
Okay.
half raise is it, half quarter, quarter,
But I
half
have-
quarter. What I'm
I
doing.
do
Versus
have to
button.
admit, like, see those middle pairs with slivers?
Yeah.
I don't like hitting those. I'd
I'm-
rather call those.
Yeah, same.
I mix pretty heavily.
But I do hit more of the suited connectors.
What do you do with nines, Joey? With the nines there.
I think from the button, I mostly lean at 3-betting it.
Mhm.
I
I like it.
I'm
But
calling,
also,
I'm
it
calling all,
depends.
but I'm calling all of these, the 5s through 8s, and putting it all in 9s for half. But I've got these. I've got this part of the board.
It depends.
0% three bet fives through eights.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm probably near 0 on those.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same thing. I could
But-
say.
We have to remember that not every button open is the same.
For sure.
You got players who open on the button, but the range is so tight that you should actually look at the hijack range
Sure.
for the response.
And if you've
Sure.
got somebody who is opening instead of 60% on the button, who's opening 80%, three bet 6s, 7s, and 8s, 100%, Adam.
Sure.
6s, 7s, and 8s are way ahead of an 80% range.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That all makes a lot of sense.
What did I say? Button, they've got button raising 42%. I said 60. Yeah, and then I went to 80. Yeah, I didn't even realize the button was only 42. So there you go. All right,
Well, do you know how much of that is value?
this here? No,
You-
I don't.
What
Pull up
percentage
the
of the
filters tab.
what percentage of the range is value?
I'm guessing what 15%. I'm assuming
What I
around.
classify as value is based on the amount you're raising, you need to, the worst hand in your value range has to be the best hand, at least at the same frequency of the odds you're laying against yourself. So here it's about 62%. So 21% of your range, the bottom hand should be the best hand 62% of the time.
Against his range. Okay,
Again, well, no, against the, because you're going against small blind and big blind with a 100% range still. They
okay,
haven't acted yet.
okay.
So you're laying yourself odds 62% here with the size of your bet versus the blinds. The bottom hand of your value range should be the best hand at the same frequency
Okay,
as the odds you're laying against yourself. And that leaves you at 21% of hands, and then you just do 1-to-1 bluffing ratio.
right. You play 21% of the hands for value, and so you have an equal number of bluffs. And many of, and almost all of your bluffs are at least interesting.
And unfortunately for me, I figured this out in 2015 and never published it. And now it's known in the solver.
Right.
Because I was actually a bit wider than everybody else in 2015.
Mhm.
But when I checked all my math for all of my open ranges, they were within 1% of all the GTO ranges.
Oh, nice.
So thanks, everybody. Thanks everybody who's here. Thanks everybody on YouTube. We're gonna have another session tomorrow of cash, and tomorrow's session is at 9:15 Pacific time, so just after noon Eastern,
12:15 Eastern.
right? And
Awesome.
I'll post it, and that one we're gonna do more solver work. We'll do, exercises. Maybe we'll look at some aggregated reports and talk about this. We'll probably talk specifically about geometric sizing. So if you want to do a preview of it, you can grab those articles here and look at them in advance
Well,
in Discord.
were we still going to do that since I did the chart and the videos available?
Might talk about it. We might not. I could be lying. We'll see.
So I think if you watch the video and look at my chart, you really don't need much more.
Okay. There you go. Watch the video. Look at the chart right there.
Now,
All
if anybody
posted.
watches the video and comes back and says, I don't understand this, then that's different.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can still talk about it, and also like talk about different stack sizes. 100 big blind, 150,
Yep.
even up to 200. Yeah.
Scotty,
And
copy
next
paste
Monday
that link
it's-
into the chat, please.
Oh, let me paste this. Yeah, I'll paste those links in
Yeah.
the chat now. Let me do that.
We got the 2 E3 already.
Okay. Oh, you got that
I
one in?
think.
So it's this one, just the video.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
And we're same time next Monday, right? Tomorrow, Tuesdays you start earlier, and Monday
Yes,
a week
that's
from
the
now will be the
plan.
same.
I will
Okay.
be in Amsterdam next Monday, so I have to check to figure out what my schedule is in Amsterdam. But if I can't be there, I'll just make sure that Larry can open the room. So we'll still do
Okay,
it.
sure.
But
I will
think-
do my best to attend tomorrow. I might not
And-
make it. I really will try. But if not, I
And
will be
since-
here next Monday for sure.
Since you have the hand histories with all the face up, if you send me like 100 hands,
Okay.
I can put them in hold a manager and run through them.
All right, but also, Mike, you've got face-up hands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mike, so if I'm not,
Oh,
I'm not,
okay.
next week, we'll do Mike hands, or I'll figure out how to send, or I'll send you some, either way.
Yeah,
The
ignition's not legal where I live, so I can't play
Gotcha.
ignition.
The link is in the chat when we do this next time. Anna and Mike and King Concerto, our new friend, if you guys want to do some narrating, you guys will be welcome to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And
No, I'm down. That sounds great.
Awesome. I'm gonna hit the stop share now. No, I'm gonna hit this stop recording as opposed to this end the meeting. Stop recording. Quality
So-
tube content.